What a superb rendition of God Defend New Zealand, our national anthem by Sophie Morris. We'll be back here shortly at Hagley Oval when we're just moments away from the first ball of the T20 Black Clash.
I'm serving a life sentence for something I didn't do.
He's never getting up. I'm not just going to give up on him.
Whatever it takes, I will get home.
For Life, full season streaming now, TVNZ On Demand.
Team Rugby out in the middle, ready to go. The two opening batsmen for Team Cricket, Peter Fulton and Hamish Marshall, making their way out to the middle. Let's head upstairs to the commentary box. Matt Heath, Mike Minogue and Jason Hoyt.
Yeah, thanks, Guy, and Happy New Year to you, my friend. My word, you're looking good. And New Year's salutations to all our viewers joining us for this live broadcast from the resplendent, magnificent Hagley Oval on a perfect summer's evening. If past history is anything to go by, we're in for a highly entertaining night of sporting endeavour, triumph and disaster. So get yourselves comfortable, make the tea, make sure the snacks are also close at hand, and settle in with us for the night. It's my great pleasure to introduce my fellow ACC commentators for tonight's match, Mr. Mike Minogue and Mr. Matt Heath.
Well, thank you, Jason Hoyt. This is exciting. What an occasion. Black Clash number 3. Either team could win this tonight, but let's be honest, Team Cricket has a lot more to prove. It's their game, and they really should be better at it than a bunch of rugby players. Mike Minogue.
Thank you so much, Matt Heath. As you gentlemen know, I've been in the changing room showers of both teams for much of the afternoon, and from what I saw of the body language, and they're very nervous, a lot of nervous laughter. You can tell that this one really matters. It's a decider, and I'm expecting a hell of a lot of fireworks today, Jason Hoyt.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. And, well, the perception is, isn't it, is that the rugby players will struggle against the cricketers, and that makes sense. But when you consider so many of these young rugby players in their schoolboy days were also very handy cricketers, the likes of Boshier and so forth. And you've got to remember, too, they're also very highly competitive sportsmen. So I promise you, we're in for an absolute doozy. It's a full house. And I tell you what, Matt Heath, Heath. I'm very much looking forward to those likes sparking into action.
Absolutely. If you're wondering what the letters on the likes are, I can see a G, there's an L, there's an A. I think it spells... Does it spell Hagley on the lights?
I think it does, Matt Heath. I think you're completely right. As we're just about to watch Peter Fulton and Hamish Marshall. They'll be opening the batting for Team Cricket. And it looks like Richie McCaw is going to be opening the bowling for Team Rugby.
Yes, the great Richie McCaw bats down the leg side and just work backward of square for a single. So a solid start by Team Cricket. And what a great pleasure it was for us today, fellas, to fly with the great Richie McCaw and his helicopter. It was an experience of a lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know he's a great captain. You know he's the GOAT. But you don't really know until you've been in the air whether he can fly a helicopter. And he got us up in the air and he got us back down again. I was very grateful. You looked terrified, Jason.
Well, that's a lovely swinging delivery into the pads of 2-metre Peter there, and he just tucks it out to mid-wicket and there's no run. Yeah, well, I was sort of the opinion, and I mentioned it to you guys, you know, he's revered, isn't he, Richie McCaw? He's much loved. And I just wondered if the people of Christchurch just said, Richie, you can have a helicopter, we trust you to fly it, mate. I wasn't sure that he was fully qualified, Mike Minogue. As then he comes again, bowls to Fulton, who drives a foolish delivery out to cover and there's no run.
Yeah, well, that's right. The way I sort of look at those sorts of things is if the pilot's confident enough to get behind the throttle there, then I'm confident enough to fly along with him. And I think if Richie McCaw was a poor pilot, we would have heard about it much earlier than today.
And he comes again to Fulton. That's another good delivery. He's getting a bit of swing in the air as the great Richie McCaw, as Fulton works him off the pads for another single.
Well, in 2019 here in Blacklash 1, he took 2 wickets, did Richie McCaw. Handy with his left arm induckers.
And he comes again to Marshall down the leg side. That'll be called wide and just made onto the turf by Fisa Tanu'u behind the stumps there. We should actually go through the team lists, Mike Minogue, just to let everyone know who is exactly playing this evening.
What a great idea. And for Team Cricket, out there at the moment opening, you've got 2-metre Peter, as he's known, and Hamish Marshall.
McCaw again, big rakeful toss, smashed away by Marshall behind point for 4. Lovely shot, the first boundary of the game.
A heck of a shot there. And a really beautiful display of how to signal a 4 from umpire Billy Bowden. You never get sick of that, do you?
You certainly don't, Mike. What an extravagant, flamboyant umpire he is, Matt Heath.
Yeah, it is a potential safety risk when he is signalling a 4. He does move rapidly, about 10 metres to either side.
And, of course, he's blind in 2 eyes.
Short and wide there from the great McCaw. Marshall has a bit of a dash and makes no contact.
Does all his umpiring through sound alone, which is remarkable, really, that he's got into this stage in his career. Just getting back to the team lineups, we've got Craig McMillan at first drop, followed by the captain Stephen Fleming, Scotty Piggy Styris, the hairy Jav Grant Elliott, Baz McCullum, Jacob Oram, Dan Vittori, Adam Perore, Cole Mills, and we've got 2 12th men today. We've got your Jordan Watson, he's not going to have a bat, and also Jesse Frew.
Fantastic stuff, mate. And Team Rugby, as Will Jordan, Officer Tanu'u, Matthew Sinclair, a bit of a ring in there, Caleb Bosia, who really impressed of that towering 6 down the ground the last time we were here. And Geordie Barrett, well, he impressed in this last match at Napier. Mark Ellis, Israel Dagg, Andy Ellis, Jason Spice, Brad Webber, Richie McCaw and Reece Mariu. So fantastic lineup there for Team Rugby.
So Matthew Sinclair, he swapped teams. He played for cricket last year and got over half their runs, 60 runs. Now he's jumped over to the rugby side. So that's a huge loss for cricket and a massive gain for rugby.
Well, it really says something potentially about Matthew Sinclair's personality. If he's a top scorer, he's done brilliantly for the side, and yet the side doesn't want him anymore. They've gotten rid of him. So possibly some personality issues there for Matty Sinclair. Disappointing.
Oh, and a nasty Short one there from Geordie Barrett, and if I recall the last match in Napier, he was bowling at about 130 clicks, which is a fair old pace, and he's a big unit as Geordie Barrett, and he's a competitive beast as well, and that was a great delivery. 2 metre Peter had to bend down to get underneath that one.
Well, he's not wearing a helmet, is he, 2 metre Peter? He's not quite 2 metres. That's an interesting fact about 2 metre Peter. He's just under 2 metres, but he's not wearing a helmet, so what's the etiquette about trying to knock his head off?
Shot and smashed away there by Fulton, out to the mid-wicket boundary for 4. Well, we were mentioning the umpires earlier on, fellas, and it should be noted that Jimmy Neesham is umpiring in this match, and I don't know if you saw the horrific accident that he had with his finger in the recent T20 match. It was truly horrifying to watch. My concern with him is if he does give someone out, does he have the fingers to do it?
Yeah, it was an absolutely horrific injury, as you say. Nearly took his entire arm off at the shoulder.
Oh, and that's a wild one down the leg side and left alone by Fulton. Well, it wasn't left alone. It was too wide to hit, to be honest.
That's right. And getting back to Jimmy Neesham's finger, the skin peeled away like sort of a banana almost, wasn't it? And the surgeons did an incredible job putting it back together. The upshot being that Jimmy can't pick up a bat or a ball today, but hopefully he will be able to raise the finger.
Buzz of anticipation as Barrett comes in again on the legs of Fulton. He tries to tuck it away. Makes no real contact, and it balloons off the pad. I should note also, fellas, there's a great many medical staff around here. Given the situation that we find ourselves in, where you've got basically old cricketers where the mind is willing but the body not so much. So they've got plenty of medical staff on hand for the blown hammies, the torn abs, that sort of thing. Because as I said, they know what they want to do, but the body's about generally 2 or 3 minutes behind.
I've actually never seen so many St John ambulances in one place.
Barrett again to Fulton, down the leg side and tucked nicely off his pads out to deep mid-wicket by Fulton, and he doesn't look like he's lost any of his touch. Always an elegant batsman.
Well, Geordie Barrett's got 2 wickets in both the previous Black Caps. He's performed fantastically. Last year, his stats, if I could just bring up the stats. Would you mind, guys, if I just bring up some stats here?
Well, you are our stats guy, Matty, so that would be great.
Okay, so he 2 wickets and 22 runs in 2020 and in 2019.
Oh, this is another wild one from Barrett. And called wide by Neesham.
53 runs and 2 wickets.
I also understand later on in the broadcast, Matty, you're going to be bringing us some fantastic animal facts, which I know the viewers will very much be looking forward to.
Yeah, I've got a lot of animal facts. Animals that only exist in the Canterbury region. The Canterbury cat.
This is tucked off the pads by Marshall out to a whitish mid-on, and they'll canter through for another single.
Of course, it's not all serious stuff, is it? It's really important for when these players get down to these games that they have an opportunity to bond. And as a result of that, yesterday they went out and they had some lawn bowls, an afternoon of that. And then last evening they had a talent quest. Both sides got together and showed each other the little talents that they have hidden away.
Fallen, whipped off the pads by Fulton, out to the man at mid-wicket, 1 bounce, and they'll just canter through for a single. That's 2 overs gone with team cricket, 16 without loss.
As a paramedic, I see a lot of teams with inexperience. Combine that with an unsafe car and the results can be fatal. As a mum, when I'm shopping for a car, the first priority is a safe car. When you're shopping for your teens, make sure you do the same. The safer the car, the safer they are.
I just time travelled. Today's a big day for past me. He just got the latest Vodafone broadband with super Wi-Fi. Wow. Which finally means Wi-Fi in all 4 corners of the house. What? Even there? I've got Wi-Fi in the garage. Yeah, we do. See ya.
Oh, it's still in the garage.
Yeah. Super Wi-Fi. Wall-to-wall Wi-Fi guaranteed.
Welcome back to Hagley Oval. A beautiful summer's evening. Lovely blue skies as the great Richie McCaw bowls to Fulton, who tucks him out to mid-wicket again, and there's no run.
He's looking very sharp, isn't he? Richie McCaw, he's really moving the ball in the air. It's a delight to see. Last night he had the talent quest. He's actually a very talented belly dancer.
McCaw again to Fulton. And that's a great in-swinging Yorker and dug out by 2-metre Peter. And there's no run. Well, that's an interesting thing. He's got many skills, Richie McCaw, we know that, but belly dancing was not one of them that I would have thought of, might know.
Well, not at all. You look at him and you think to yourself, well, that guy can't dance. He can do a lot of things, but dancing probably not one of them. Or you'd be wrong.
Another full delivery defended by 2-metre Peter. I tell you what really surprised me about the talent competition last night was the great Geordie Barrett singing Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On. You just never anticipate for a second, do you? That such a big rugby unit, big aggressive guy like that would sing a song like that. As Richie bowls full and smashed by Fulton out to mid-off in a theatrical dive by Israel Dag, and they'll get a single.
Great start from team cricket. Much better than last time. They were hemorrhaging wickets by this point. Peter Fulton, of course, the tap dance routine, full with cane and top hat.
Yeah, he was extremely uncoordinated, actually.
This is short, and Marshall tries to pull him away, and it just balloons, I think, off the pad. I think that'll be a leg by. Yeah, I don't know about you guys. I've never been a big fan of tap dancing.
No.
And it's not so much the tap dancing that I mind. It's more the sort of outfits that they tend to wear. The garish kind of glittery...
the glittery little bowler hats.
But yeah, that sort of thing. Big rack full toss again, and Fulton pulls him out to square leg for another single.
And they always seem to have that look on their face, don't they? Like, look at me, look at me. And you'd rather not.
I have to admit, talking about that talent quest last night, I was massively impressed with Sir Ted's Eminem rap song. You'd never pick Sir Ted to do a bit of Eminem, would you?
Lose yourself perfectly.
Yeah, he nailed it.
Well, Richie McCaw talking to him in his helicopter flying above Christchurch earlier today, and he said he'd faced a few deliveries from Mark Ellis, and he said he's one to watch. He said he was pace, and he said he was a very, very difficult to face. So this should be interesting. And can I just say, he is just getting better and better looking with age, isn't he, Mark Ellis?
Well, he's got a touch of the silver fox about him now, which I like.
Yeah.
You know, before he used to have that really sort of muddy, hideous brown colour, didn't he? Mousy. Hard to look at, but now with the silver, yeah, he's turning my head.
Well, it certainly adds an air of dignity to him, that's for sure. And he, like all the players out here today, just a very talented sportsman, can turn his hand at most things. But you're right, Matty, Richie McCaw, he was most impressed with Matthew Ellis with his little darty medium paces. Let's see what he's got. Comes into Peter Fulton, and he just gets a full delivery, which he works out to square leg for a single. That was pretty pathetic given the build-up that we'd just given.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Richie McCaw, does he know anything about cricket?
That was
Stick to flying your helicopters, mate, and yeah, we'll do the analysis.
I must say, I was a little alarmed as Ellis comes in again to Marshall. Oh, that's a lovely lofted drive down the ground. One bounce for four. Elegant shot there from Marshall, and a much-needed boundary for team cricket.
I'd have to say that Mark Ellis is one of the worst bowlers I've ever seen.
He looks horrific, actually. He probably needs to go to the surgeon or something, maybe put a rinse through that hair.
Yeah, I didn't realise that the silver hair...
Down the leg side there, and just off the pad of Marshall, down to the man at short, fine leg, and they'll scamper through for another single.
I'm going to demand an apology from Richie McCaw for saying that Mark Ellis was a spectacular bowler. I mean, I feel like he's lied to us.
Yeah, well, I was thinking silver fox, but now looking closer at the bowling action, it's actually more of a geriatric state of affairs, isn't it?
And he comes again, and this is lofted in the air from Peter Fulton. Oh, two players converging on it. It bounces between both of them, and he gets away with it. I saw a potential disaster about to happen there, but fortunately a bounce between both players, and Fulton will get a single.
How about those catches that Andy Lee from Hamish and Andy took last year? That was a real highlight, wasn't it?
Absolutely spectacular.
In fact, he took the game-winning catch on the last ball of the game.
One of my favourite things about the 2021 game is talking about the 2020 game.
This is slashed away to point. Bit of a misfield there, and they'll get a single. Not sure who that was.
Well, I've appeared a lot around the 2019 and 2020 games there, Mike Minogue. So you'll be getting a lot of it.
That's where all your stats have come from, haven't they? The other games. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the only stats we've got. I mean, I could give you Hamish Marshall's average, but there's a very small data.
Alice again onto the legs of Fulton, who works him down to fine leg for another single. And that's 28 without loss after 4. Let's take a break.
This is the story of TV. A TV who was about to experience its favourite genre, adventure. When your TV unexpectedly walks out the door, it's nice to have someone on your side.
Juicy tomato and crisp lettuce. Try the all-new Filet-O-Fish Deluxe, Quarter Pounder Deluxe, and McChicken Deluxe for a fresh take on your favourites. For a limited time at Macca's.
Welcome back to Hagley Oval. Full house and beautiful evening. Some great cricket already played as we're joined by another member of the ACC team, Mike Lane. G'day, mate. How you going?
Good evening, fellas. What an occasion.
Yes.
Change of bowler too with Israel Dagg.
Well, the rumour has it, Mike Lane, that Israel Dagg in his sort of mid to late teens was bowling around 140 clicks. Then he comes now bowling to 2 metre Peter, short and down the leg side, a bit of a swish. And there's no run.
Yeah, growing up in the Hawke's Bay. I think, did he go to Lindisfarne College or one of those colleges out there in the Hawke's Bay? I heard he bowled up near 150, Mike Minogue.
Well, you're not wrong, Mike Lane, because that's exactly what I heard. He was down the nets yesterday. They had the speed gun on, 157 clicks.
Oh, short and wide to Fulton, who gets a big inside edge down to fine leg, and there's no run. Well, I actually heard myself, what did you say, 156 in the nets yesterday. When he was in his mid-20s, he was bowling 160, 170.
Really?
Yeah.
Shoaib Akhtar pace.
Absolutely.
Interesting. I don't know where you've heard that from. You probably same source that Matt Heath had during that pitch report, I imagine.
Can I just bring up your pitch report, if I might, Mike Lane, as Israel Dagg comes in again and bowls to
Here we go.
Marshall, who works him off his pads to mid-wicket, and there's a single. A lot of bad information there.
Well, I think what happened was Matt Heath had a bit of a panic moment. He only got told 30 seconds before that he was doing a pitch report, so he just Googled cricket terminology on Wikipedia and then just spouted as many cliches as possible.
This is pulled away by Fulton out to deep mid-wicket. Well, it occurs to me, when you're doing a pitch report, why don't you just get the groundsman out there? You know what I mean? Because they're obviously the ones that can tell you exactly what the pitch is like, Mike Minogue.
Yeah, well, there's some truth to that, but often they don't have the sensational media training that some of your experts like Mike Lane and Matt Heath do. Exactly. He might have the info. But he doesn't have the charisma in which to deliver it to an audience in a way that makes sense.
Oh, to be fair, I didn't think that Matt Heath or Mike Lane had any charisma either, if that makes any difference.
No, that's true.
I'm sitting right here.
That's true, but have you met the groundsman?
In comes Israel Dagg. This is pulled away by Marshall. Could this be the first 6? Yes, it is over mid-wicket. Great shot. Well, there you go. The first 6 of the match. A beautiful pull shot there from Marshall, just rocking onto the back foot and pulling him over mid-wicket for 6. And I believe we're going to cross to Jordan Oppett on the ground.
Yes, well, I'm with another Jordan Watson, a sensation online. Now, you know how
to Dad, but do you know how to cricket?
I seriously have no idea how to cricket. I've never played a real game of cricket. I'm just from a rugby through college and all that. This email comes through. Do you want to play? Is it for me? Hey, I'll show up. So I'm here.
He's Team Cricket's wild card tonight. Now, what would you say is your specialty, batting or bowling?
Oh, definitely bowling. Just an in-swinging, out-swinging, unorthodox Yorker is probably around the 140 click mark. So look out for that.
All right, we will be. Now, look, I just want to quickly point out, you can take the man out of Papamoa, but you can't take the Papamoa out of a man. Still in his stubbies like he's come from the beach. Anyway, we'll head back up to you guys in the comm box.
Yeah, great stuff. Thanks, Jordan. I hope he's got netting in there and those stubbies. Dear, difficult things if you don't have the netting in the stubbies, Mike Lane.
Dangerous.
Ellis comes in and bowls to Fulton, who just picks this off his pads beautifully behind square for 4. Lovely shot.
I think we've got Mark Ellis mic'd up out on the field there, so we might have to have a word to him in a second. Talk us through that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He does really cut a dashing figure with those grey sideburns, though, doesn't he?
I see what he's doing, though. There he's getting smashed to all corners, and then what he does is he fires up at his fieldman. He lays blame. He's one of those guys on your team that he throw you under the bus as quick as look at you.
I think he can hear you.
Oh, yeah, I know, but...
And he comes again, pulls to Fulton, just back of a length and worked off the thigh by Fulton out to deep mid-wicket for a single. He's got a lovely simple action though, doesn't he? I mean, we dissed him early on, and that might have been a bit harsh. It was only because Richie McCaw told us he was such a phenomenal bowler. But he's got a nice compact action, Mike Lane.
Yeah, he plays a lot of last man stands out there in the Domain in Auckland.
And he comes again. Bowls to Marshall, who gives himself room and smashes it down past mid-off to the boundary for 4. A despairing dive from the fieldsman there. He was about 2 days too late on it, but a good effort nonetheless, and a great signal of 4 by Jimmy Neesham.
And how does he go in those last man standing games?
He's good. He's got a good average. You can go on the Last Man Stands website and you can get all the stats. You can see who your bunny is, and Mark Ellis, he's handy, especially on those AstroTurf pitches, which tend to pop off the length and go right up your nose.
Especially if you're facing him.
And he comes again, bowling to Marshall, and it's just slashed out to the man at point, and there's no run. I tell you what, fellas, this is a great start from Team Cricket. 5.4 overs, 46 without loss. They're laying a great platform here.
On track to a healthy 220.
Well, they almost got embarrassed last year, didn't they? They were in all sorts of trouble. 7 down, I believe. Only 50 or 60 on the board.
Ellis again, and once again Marshall gives himself room and beats the man as he slashes it behind point for 4. Another lovely shot.
So with Hamish Marshall, I think he's pretty much one of the only members of Team Cricket who's still actively playing cricket in Wellington. He plays club cricket. He mentioned that his goal is to be still playing cricket when his son is playing. He wants to play with his son. So he's got a few years to go because he's only got a young whipper.
So he's just going to pile the pressure on his son, is he? What if his son doesn't like cricket?
Just brought their 50 up to Team Cricket. And this is worked by Marshall down to long on for
That's over.
Another single. That's 6 overs gone, 51 without loss.
Left. Nice.
Pulled me up when I was low.
We're never gonna win.
I was never there alone. If you fall, still be standing.
3, 2, 1, go.
Tighten the sheet.
That's it, boy. That's it. Hold the line. Good start. This is too easy. Here they come around the top mark.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Now.
And he crosses the line.
Welcome back to Hagley Oval. Capacity house, atmosphere building, And I tell you what.
Oh, look at that.
Beautiful.
Look at that. You love the idea of owning a spa, Mike Minogue. Did you know Hot Spring Spas have proven to be the lowest running cost spas? You know that?
Well, who doesn't know that?
Ball delivery down the leg side that Marshall tries to tickle away, makes no contact. I think that's going to be a couple of byes there for Team Cricket. And I believe we've got Mark Ellis on the line with us. Mark, how you going, mate?
G'day, gents. Yeah, pretty despondent after that last over, to be honest. But,
yeah.
And the over before that one wasn't very good.
Yeah, both of them been pretty shoddy, to be honest.
Spice again comes in, bowls to Marshall and lifts him down the ground. That's a great shot over long on for 6.
He's got that out of the screws.
Yeah, that was a sweet hit, that one from Marshall. Hey, Mark, we went for a flight today with the great Richie McCaw in his helicopter. He was talking you up big time, mate. He said he was facing you in the nets and he was highly impressed with your bowling action, with your pace. Then we saw you actually bowl, and I can tell you what, we were pretty disappointed here in the commentary team. We were expecting big things from you.
Yeah, well, you see, I was going off the fumes of the night before, and I'm afraid I burned them out in the net this morning. And the net result is, well, just what you're seeing, a bit of a punishing.
Spice comes in again. Bolster Marshall, he just clips him nicely down to long on for a single. We're also saying we're loving the greying sideburns there, Mark. It gives you the real fox look, you know, the distinguished kind of look that you've never really had in your life. You've always been a bit of a rat bag, haven't you?
Yeah, right you are. No, it's you know, I'm thinking about maybe even a pipe at some stage.
Listen, I've got a couple of cravats you can borrow at any stage. If you want a couple of gowns, that would work as well for you.
Got a couple of them at home myself. I like a cravat. Nice touch, a little bit of flavour.
So what's the team feeling out there at the moment, Mark? Obviously you haven't broken through yet. That will be concerning you guys.
Yeah. Look, it's not as though it hasn't been, or it's been chanceless. They're living dangerously, but they're so far not too bad. We'll be right.
Sort of every time they smash you to the boundaries, I guess there's a chance for a 6, but they all seem to clear the boundary by so much.
Yeah, well, you come out here and stand in the middle. It looks quite a long way to the fence, but
they're making it look easy.
Yeah, the bats these days are a bit different than they were 20-odd years ago.
Hey, Mark, what's the form like with the bat, mate? What do you like as a batsman?
Well, I used to be a batsman, not a bowler, you see, so...
Oh, that explains it.
That explains
a
it.
lot,
Yeah, but I believe I'm batting 11, so no real opportunity to show that.
Well, you never know, mate. You might get a chance. They might just cut through you and it'll be all over in sort of 4 or 5 overs.
Yeah, stranger things have happened. Yeah, sorry.
Listen, what you got to do, Mark, is just go up to the skipper and say, come on, mate, I've got to redeem myself.
You want me on the fence?
You know, I've got to redeem myself.
I don't think he wants you on the fence, mate. I think he wants you over.
Sorry, mate, this is...
I don't think he wants you on the fence. I think he wants you over the fence and back in the changing room.
Yeah, good man. This is slightly disconcerting running around with a big pouch on the hip.
Yes.
Things in my ear.
And in front of you. Big pouch in front of you.
And abuse being thrown at me from my teammates and you guys. It's not really as I imagined it.
Izzy Dag now coming into 2 metre Peter. Nice delivery. And he goes back on his stumps and clips it out to cover. And there's no run. Hey, well, Mark, thanks, mate. We'll tune in with you a little bit later on. Hopefully you guys can pick up a couple of wickets and get back in this match.
Roger that.
Thanks, mate.
Over and out.
So Mike Minogue, 2 metre Peter, he's actually 198 centimetre Peter.
Only we're getting shorter and shorter because he's so old now, isn't he? And you shrink over the years.
Dag again bowls to Fulton, who slashes him away to deep point, and they'll just get a single.
Tell you what, you know, Mark Ellis might not be a very good bowler, but it's bloody funny watching him try to run.
Of course, we need to welcome our listeners in Australia, going live to Fox Sport. Mike Minogue.
Absolutely, we do.
Dag again bowls to Marshall. Oh, and a brilliant stuff. Well, he smashed it back at him, and Izzy had a bit of a fumble, but he got it in the end, and a vital breakthrough for Team Rugby. Much needed, 62 for 1.
He looks like he's hurting a little because Hamish Marshall collected that, and for a while there, Israel Dag didn't know whether it was Arthur or Martha, and then manages to get his mitts around it, and they lose their first wicket.
That is a clean catch. It is an absolute screamer. He can't believe it. The look on his face. He's nearly broken his leg as he hit the turf there, and he's going to be feeling that one for months. But he's taken the first wicket for his team, and that's what matters.
Lads, I'm here with Hamish Marshall. Geez, mate, you're looking pretty good. You haven't lost anything.
Oh, yeah, it was nice to be out there, but it's a good wicket. We probably need a few because the All Black team's pretty good.
Yeah, and what's it playing like out there? It looked like Mark Ellis was sending them down pretty fiercely.
Yeah, rumour in the nets this morning he was bowling the quickest, so they bowled pretty well. It's just a good wicket, so we're going to need plenty of runs.
Good man, very good. Thank you, appreciate it. Back to you, ACC boys.
What was going on in the nets this morning?
Yeah, I don't know. There's been some very bad information passed on about Mark Ellis and his bowling. Is Craig McMillan. What a sight to see him again out at the crease. But it was funny there when, Mike, where it looked like Israel Dag almost panicked. He had no idea what was going on. He threw his hands out and the ball dropped him there.
It's almost like he forgot what he was doing. Forgot where he was and what he was meant to be doing, but it just all came back to him in a flash, and he's snagged the first wicket for Team Rugby, much needed.
Well, Macca, of course, well known for his innovation as a couple of ducks walked past us. I'm not sure what that's about, but I'm sure they're having a lot of fun out there. Izzy Dag again bowls to McMillan, who works him elegantly off the hip down to backward square for a single.
Yeah, and as you were saying prior to that wicket, Mike Lane, we're being taken live into Australia through Fox Sports. They'll be pretty happy to see some more cricket. Yep, they love their cricket over there, don't they?
Yeah, well, a big welcome to our mates at Fox Sport as Israel Dag comes in again. This is full and driven by Fulton down to long on for a single. What a tremendous test series it was, of course, India v Australia. And just how good were India?
I mean, they're a hell of a side, aren't they? And to go to Australia, something of a furnace, a lot of pressure.
With a C team.
With a C team. And to just, to make Australia look so average on home ground.
This is defended nicely by McMillan. The end of the over. That's 8 gone, 64 for 1. Christchurch, a revitalised urban centre with brand new retail and hospitality precincts, invites visitors to experience a new and vibrant environment.
He nailed that, Jace.
Thanks, mate.
He nailed that.
That was very professional. Very professional.
Welcome back, Matt Heath.
So good to be here. What an occasion. And look, it's still a great start from Team Cricket. Got to say, certainly better than what happened at McLean Park.
Well, they've got a few points to prove, don't they, Matty? As Jason Spice comes in now to Fulton, and he just tucks this off his pad, and it goes over the head of Tanu'u down to fine leg for a single. Because, as we said at the beginning of this broadcast, the intimation was that, of course, Team Cricket would win easily, but that hasn't been the case in the history of this game, Mike Lane.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know if they've maybe just taken the foot off the gas a little bit, the cricket players, but I think they've come out with purpose this time. They don't want to be embarrassed again here at Hagley Oval like they did in that first game in 2019.
Spice again bowls to Fulton, who drives out to long off for a single. I want to put this to you guys. What would be the result if we had a fixture where they played rugby instead? The cricket boys played team rugby in a rugby match.
There'd be fatalities. There'd be fatalities,
yeah.
I'd love to see the haka. Dan Vittori leading a haka would do it for me.
Spice again bowls to McMillan, who defends somewhat pointlessly, and there's no run.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? That's why Team Cricket absolutely have to win, because there's humiliation for them if they lose, because it's their sport.
Yep.
The rugby players can just say, look, I don't play cricket, so,
Spice again. He's got a lovely action, actually. Very simple left arm around the wicket there and just goes down on one knee as McMillan works him behind square for a single.
Are you guys interested in any kind of score predictions at this stage?
I'm going to go 186, Matt Heath, for me.
Going large. Yep. I mean, Team Cricket only scored 117 last time.
Well, I think as Spice comes in again, this is driven by Fulton straight to cover. You've got to factor in the fatigue factor. You know, a lot of these guys aren't what they used to be physically, and you know, you're going to start seeing a few fading bodies as
nice there, mate.
Spice clip back to the bowler, and there's no run. I believe we're going down to Jordan Offord, who's down on the ground for players.
Yeah, well, a few things here I just want to point out. This fence is about to move over. Will Jordan is the fan favourite, and everyone's going to have a bet tonight. Are you guys having fun? Yeah! What team are we going for?
Well, we are in Crusader country. Jason Hoyt and Matt Heath, of course, the crowd favourite being Team Rugby.
Absolutely.
What was your score prediction again for Team Cricket?
186.
186. I'll go 185.
Izzy Dag again comes in and bowls to McMillan wide. He has a wild slash at it and no contact. I spoke to Izzy in the reception just before, by the way, fellas.
Yep.
As we were coming to the ground, he was very nervous.
I couldn't in good conscience.
He'd had a good night, he said. Yeah. Bonding with the team. I don't know what he did at the Talent Quest, Maddie. Did you hear it all? What is he? Not sure what he performed.
He put some lipstick around his belly button and put a big fake hat over his body.
Oh, right, okay. This is full and driven by Macca straight to the man at mid-wicket, and there's no run.
It was surprisingly good. The state of his kit bag, Izzy Dag's kit bag, concerned me. You know, you see those players and there's just bits flying out everywhere. There's a box left on the floor. There's bats in every direction. There's
Dag again to McMillan, who comes down the crease and drives him quick to mid-on. Shy at the stumps there. It would have been a close run thing, I think. But he gets home, does Craig McMillan. He was never the quickest between the wickets, and I suggest he's even slower now, Mike Lane.
Yes, yeah. Former batting coach of the Black Caps as well, so I'd say he'd be getting a few tips from a few current players on his batting technique out there in the middle.
Can we just confirm that none of the players can hear what we're saying in this commentary? I'm just a little bit concerned about the after party.
Izzy Dag again. This is full and off the pad of Fulton down to short fine leg, and they'll get another single.
If I could just take this opportunity to distance myself from the interview you did with Mark Ellis. It was a very, very harsh line of questioning you employed there, Jason Hoyt.
Yeah, well, as he said, Matt Heath, he was getting abused by his own teammates. He was getting abused in his ear by us, and he was getting hit to all corners of the ground. So it wasn't a great 15-minute period for Mark Ellis. But you did compliment him on his salt and that silver fox look he's running at the moment.
Well, absolutely, he's a very good-looking man. And in our defence, I mean, we were only going off what Richie McCaw told us this morning at the flights, as Izzy Dag comes in again, short and wide and slashed away by McMillan for a single. I mean, you know, if you can't trust Richie McCaw, Matt Heath, who can you trust?
No one, and that's why it was so shocking to be lied to him about Mark Ellis's abilities. Now, we don't have a speed radar here, so I don't know, Mike Lane, would you like to have a sort of a guess, just the rough estimate speed of this next delivery from Dag?
Yep, I can do that for you.
And he comes again, bowling to Fulton. He's batting very nicely as he elegantly drives down to long off for another single, 73 for one.
I think you're looking at the kind of late teens, kind of 118, 120 potentially from Israel Dag. He's obviously not his formative years where he was bowling 170 kilometres an hour in schoolboy cricket in Hawke's Bay.
And in defence of Mark Ellis, quite frankly, we had a bit of a net session the other day, and it was an absolute debacle, so I'm certainly not putting myself above him. This is driven straight back to Izzy, nicely fielded. That's the end of the over, and that's 10 gone, 73 for one.
It's an extraordinary ask, isn't it, to bear a child for someone? This is something I want to do. I can change your life, and you can change mine.
This lassie has keyed into you, and you're not thinking straight.
Well, I'm doing it.
Yeah. Emily, you're not listening.
With or without you.
Using an 18-year-old fresh out of children's home. You need to take this seriously. She's got all the power. There's no choice but to trust her.
The Nest. Full season. Streaming now. TVNZ On Demand.
To the Hot Springs Spas T20 Black Clash. I'm here out in the middle with Matthew Sinclair. Mate, we're obviously in the drinks break right now, but you were just fielding out at deep in wicket, which is of course the spot where you took that catch with Matthew Hayden. Do you, when you're out there, of course you do remember that. Run us through it. Do you still think about that?
Oh, I think with a lot of people I speak to, they sort of say, hey, like that was a pretty awesome catch. And I think more so, they always ask me actually, what actually did I say when I pointed at the crowd? So, and I sort of left it, said, no, I won't let anyone else know.
Go on.
Yeah, no, I won't be doing that. Wait till my book comes out. Then you'll see it. But all I can say was that that particular day, the Australians were really getting on me. It was a good victory in the same. So, but yeah, it was a special moment.
Mate, what's it like playing cricket with a bunch of rugby guys?
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I got a late last call up to come and play for them. Ted, Sir Henry said, would you like to play? I said, heck yeah, I'd love to. So I was actually on a holiday heading up the top of North Island, Cape Reinga, and on my holidays, and said, yeah, I'd love to come down and be part of it again. So it is a bit strange, not being part of the cricketers, but these guys are good cricketers within their own, as you're seeing. So, and it's just good to be partaking in this event.
You need a couple of wickets though, right?
Yeah, I think we do. I mean, it looks like a good wicket. This is the first time I've actually been to this ground as well. What an amazing venue. And I think for now it's a good chance to, maybe just to get some good dot balls going here and see if we can try and stall them a little bit. But, they've got a good lineup coming through, so we'll give it our best shot.
Appreciate your time. Go well.
Anytime. Thanks, guys.
Matthew Sinclair with us. Back to you boys from the ACC up in the commentary box.
Yeah, thanks very much, Guy. And that was a great catch, wasn't it, on the boundary there? What was the ground? Was the MCG?
No, it was Etihad Stadium, which I think now is Marvel Stadium, the indoor stadium in Melbourne.
Right, yeah.
There over in Australia was a sensational catch.
You know what I'd like to do, fellas? I'd like to go back over all the Black Clash games, because there's been some outstanding catches throughout all three games, and maybe make a little bit of a compilation of it.
Yeah, Richie McCaw.
Oh, that was a great catch.
Kieran Reid.
That was an interesting thing. He didn't stop talking about that while he was flying, did he, Matt?
No, he didn't. He wouldn't shut up about that catch, actually. Nathan McCullum took an absolute screamer last year. Of course, Andy Lee. Two fantastic catches.
Well, it is such a beautiful evening here in Christchurch. About 21 degrees, a lovely little breeze just blowing across the ground. So we've seen a capacity crowd. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm very much looking forward to those lights going on.
Yeah, installed for the Women's Cricket World Cup, which has been delayed until next year. But, of course, a couple of games coming up here, New Zealand, Australia, which is sold out, the T20.
This is full by Boshier and driven by Fulton back to the bowler. There's no run.
Now, 2 metre Peter Fulton, 25 off 33. It's not a test match, mate. It's time to put the foot down, maybe roll the eyes back in the head and have a slash.
Yes. There you go. He must have heard you, Matt Heath, because he's just smashed that over long on for 6.
Now, that's good commentary.
The opposite of the commentator's curse there. That was a great shot.
Speaking of which, Matt Heath, obviously we get a lot of feedback about the alternative commentary collective coverage of the Black Clash. We love the feedback.
Oh, we absolutely love it.
Oh, and once again, hoisted off his pads, over square leg for 6 more. Great shot. 2 towering 6s.
Immediately now up to 37 off 35. Above 100 on the strike rate, and that's what we want to see from 2 metre Peters today, who's what, 196 centimetres?
198 centimetre Peter. And of course, if you take a one-handed catch wearing a Steady the Ship hat or a black flap here, we'll give you $1,000 with Radio Hauraki. It's one hand, $1,000.
Great stuff. So Fulton moves to 37 off 35. I tell you what, I caught up with Boshier earlier on as he comes in bowling to Fulton again. Short and smashed again. again for 6 more. That's another great shot. You can see they've pulled the rope in a little bit for that match, for this particular match, but he didn't need it there. It sailed over the fence.
He had a bit of shocking hands from a man with a KFC bucket on his head as well. He's going to be ruining that chance.
Well, I tell you what, Boshier, he's a big unit, and I will never, ever forget the first match that we had here at Hagley Oval for the Black Clash. An utterly majestic straight 6 down the ground from Boshier. He bowls to Fulton, and he launches into it again, straight down the ground for 6 more. Sensational stuff from Fulton.
He's really taken that advice to heart, Matt Heath. You told him to drop the hammer. You told him to roll the eyes to the back of the head and start swinging. He's hit 4 sixes.
Well, I wish I told him to do it one ball earlier, and he could have been going for the magic 36.
In comes Boshier again. He's under fire. There you go again! That's the biggest of the lot over mid-wicket for 6. 5 sixes in a row from 2 metre Peter.
1.98 centimetre Peter. Thank you very much.
And Boshier cannot believe it. He's gone for 30 off the over. I had to do a bit of quick maths there, actually, because I suddenly didn't know how much 5 sixes were, but that's sensational batting from Peter Fulton.
I'm gutted about that dot ball at the start of that over. Gutted.
Going back to the feedback line, we've actually set our own feedback up because we got a lot of feedback last couple of years, and it's gone via different channels.
Yeah.
So we've set a direct line up here, Matt Heath.
Yeah. If you keep it off the TVNZ Facebook page, because it's easier for us to sweep the feedback under the carpet if it comes directly to us. So if you've got any comments, suggestions, advice for the commentary team, just text that through to 3483, and we won't pass that on to TVNZ.
Well, what a sensational over that was from Peter Fulton. 5 sixes in a row, all of them sort of clearing the boundary comfortably. He certainly doesn't look like he's lost any form, Mike Lane.
No, not at all. He's a coach of the Canterbury team now. He had to give up his role with the Black Caps. He's a batting coach of the Black Caps, and he gave up his role to take up the senior role here down in Christchurch.
Do you remember when he scored a second ton in a test match at Eden Park against England with 6?
Back to back, yeah.
I was there, and the sound of that Leather on Willow still lives with me. Beautiful sound.
Ellis bowls to Andy Ellis, bowls to McMillan, strikes him on the pad, it triples up to short square leg, there's no run.
So that par score of 180 is looking pretty likely with cricket now 103 for 1 in the 12th over.
Oh, this is lofted down the ground from McMillan, and he's gone! Cornered long off! Another vital breakthrough for Team Rugby. And Craig McMillan is on his way 4 from 10.
Yeah, well, he saw his batting partner smoke 5 sixes in a row, and knowing Craig McMillan and his personality, he wanted to join in the fun, but he didn't quite time it, and it's struck him with the bottom of the bat, and a good catch in the outfield by Geordie Barrett. Safe pair of hands.
Yeah, well, so often that's the case, isn't it? When one player's going at one end, another one gets overexcited. But I believe we're going to go down to Guy, who's going to have a chat with Craig.
Macca, 4 off 10, but you're in the best seat in the house to see your old mate Peter Fulton going nuts.
Yeah, Fultz is hitting it pretty well. He's hitting it out the middle, so it was a good seat in the house. Tried to find the middle of my bag, but I just couldn't find it.
Well, that's all right. The rest of your teammates are going all right, aren't they?
Good start. Yeah, there's a good platform, and we've got plenty of power to come. So, yeah, should be a good total, I reckon.
Good man. Go and enjoy it up there. Back to you, boys.
Yeah, thanks very much, Guy. They certainly are setting a good platform here. 103 for 2 off 11.2, so still plenty of overs to go. And you just get the feeling, guys, that Team Cricket have something to prove tonight.
Yeah, Stephen Fleming, he's dropped himself down the order. Usually opens up. Stephen Fleming put himself at 4. And watch out. Team Rugby will bring on Geordie Barrett. They'll bring him back. Now Stephen Fleming's out there. He's his bunny. Got him the last couple of years. But Stephen Fleming, he's got a point to prove after a disappointing couple of years with the bat.
Absolutely. Well, I recall one ball from Geordie Barrett to Stephen Fleming. He bowled the ball on the Friday night, and Stephen Fleming played the shot on the Saturday afternoon. He was that late on it. One of our great cricketers, though. Such an elegant player was Stephen Fleming. Used to love watching him bat, and one of our great skippers too, Matt Heath.
Absolutely, and a lot of feedback coming through on 3483.
This has fallen wide from Ellis.
Andy
left
Ellis,
alone.
Andy Ellis bowled that. He bowled that from about 4 metres from behind the umpire. So tried to catch Stephen Fleming off guard there.
We're just looking at Craig McMillan's dismissal and didn't quite get hold of that. Just lofted it straight down to Geordie Barrett long off, and this is defended elegantly by the former New Zealand skipper, and there's no run.
And I can say that 100% of the feedback has been wildly positive.
Really?
This from a texter on 3483. What in the world is going on with this commentary team? Mark Ellis is a national treasure. He played for the All Blacks almost 7 times and deserves some respect. What have these commentators ever done?
Nice, defended again by Fleming. A nice delivery from Ellis as Fleming propped forward, played an immaculate forward defensive stroke.
Shame on you, Jason Hoyt, and your pack of goons. Mark Ellis is 1,000 times the person you clowns are. Next time you talk to him, can you ask him where Ridgie is?
Riding his BMX shirtless down Ponsonby Road, I heard.
Ellis again. Oh, and he beats Fleming outside the off stump. Tentative shot from Fleming. He just probed forward. Maybe just seemed a little bit off the wicket there through to Ofisa Tumu'u and no run.
That's really nice here, brother. Give him the one now, boys. Here it comes, here it comes.
I've done quite a lot in sport, Matt Heath. I got a vasectomy live on air and commentated an international.
Yes, that's something.
Yeah, that's something.
104 for 2. 12th over, short and wide, slashed away by Fleming, and it'll beat the man at deep gully and race away for 4, so he'll be relieved to be off the mark. It's 108 for 2 after 12.
I captained
Want a more natural spa water care system without the harsh chemicals? Hot Water Springs offer a fully integrated saltwater sanitation system for clean water for up to 12 months. That's hard to beat.
Great stuff. Thanks, Mike Minogue. Have you ever considered doing voice work, mate? That was a fantastic read.
Oh, thanks, mate. Get in touch with me agents. I'm available.
So Geordie Barrett coming back into the attack. I guess you'd call him the spearhead. He's probably the quickest of all the rugby players. Pulls at about 120 maybe. His first over going for 9. So he comes now bowling to Fulton, who's batting beautifully. Pulled away by the big man. Out to the boundary for 4 more. Oh, he's on fire. His last 6 scoring shots. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 4.
He's not bad, is he? He saved the best innings of his life for the Black Clash 2021, and I'm glad he did because I got to be here and witness it myself. Almost 2 metre Peter. He's really putting the lights out.
Barrett again, and this is lofted by Fulton. Over the mid-wicket boundary for 6 more. Beautiful shot. He is just going nuts at the moment. 65 off 40. Matt Heath was just making the point that Fulton needs to get on with it. In 7 balls later, he's hit 6 sixes and a 4.
As we see Billy Bowden making his wonderful signals again.
Fallen just tucked away again by Fulton, this time a little more sedately down to fine leg, but that'll run away for 4. Oh, he just can't stop at the moment.
Can I revise my predicted score? I went in for 185. I'd like to change that up now to 210. That's right. What was your prediction there, Mike Minogue?
Yeah, I didn't get an opportunity. I was thinking around about 325.
Yeah, I'm going 285 myself, actually, Mike Minogue. I think that's a good call. Listen, just in responding to that caller or that viewer telling us how dare we criticise the great Mark Ellis. I mean, what have we done with our sporting lives to feel like we could even be in the same atmosphere as the man? Mike Minogue, what's your sporting background, mate?
Well, I'm pretty good at pool after a few beers.
Impressive.
Barrett comes in now to Fulton, who's absolutely on fire. He just dabs that ball down to backward point, and there's no run.
Well, I captained the Māori Hill Primary School second 11 in the 80s.
Well, you know about leadership, mate. And that was why it was so nice to hear you and Richie McCaw have a chat about what it is to be a leader today when we were up in the chopper.
Ooh, a nice delivery there from Barrett, driven back to the bowler.
And I could see that he learned a few things from you, mate.
Yeah, I said to Richie McCaw, I said the key is to lead by example.
He wasn't listening though, was he?
No, the comms were off at that point.
Yeah. You can feel the tension in the air, can't you? Hey, there's a buzz about the ground.
No, I think that's just the lights heating up, actually, Mike. But no, certainly the atmosphere beginning to build as the evening goes on.
Yeah, somebody take the ball off Mark Ellis, would you?
I believe we're going to be throwing to Guy down on the ground.
Thank you, fellas. I'm here with one of Canterbury's favourites, Israel Dagg, usually down the road playing rugby, or back in the day anyway. What's it like to be out here playing cricket, mate?
I absolutely love it, mate. It's a wonderful crowd. Christchurch always puts it on every time we come back to Hagley Oval, and it's a day night under the lights. Never played under the lights with cricket, so no, I'm really enjoying it, and we're just going to get this big Peter Fulton out. He's absolutely destroying us and making it pretty depressing.
Mate, you're in the red and black. That must feel like being at home.
It does. Red and black, mate. The home of rugby. I'm going to throw it out there. No. People in Auckland will be hating that, but no, it's good. It's a good occasion, and we're all having fun.
Rumour has it you may have hurt your finger in the nets this morning. What happened there?
Well, one of the boys, the young fella, Jock McKenzie, smashed the ball at me. I tried to catch it, and I nearly dislocated my finger. It's quite sore, but it doesn't matter. I caught that one today, which is quite surprising. I couldn't believe it.
Jock McKenzie will be in a bit of trouble tonight then.
Yeah, well, mate, he'll be getting a bit of punishment in that change room, I'll tell you that.
Good man, go well.
Go well, Tish.
Good as gold. Back to you, boys.
Yeah, thanks. Great stuff, Guy. He's a character, isn't he, Izzy Dagg? One of our great rugby players. It was always a joy to watch Izzy Dagg on the rugby field. Ellis now comes in bowling to Fleming, who again plays that characteristic Fleming shot out to mid-wicket. There's no run.
Well, Fleming's got a lot to prove, hasn't he? He was out for a duck last year. I think he got 6 in the first year, but broke 4 toes. Izzy Dagg actually 1 full on his toes.
Ooh, and that was a full delivery from Ellis and just dug out by Fleming. Back to the bowler, no run.
Of course, we're going out live to Fox Sports in Australia.
A quick single there. Well, there was an idea of a quick single. It just didn't turn out that way, but they got home in the end. Yes, our friends at Fox Sport might know that should have been an easy run out there for Afisa Tunu'u, but that just didn't. Took his eyes off the ball and dropped it before Fulton got home.
Yeah, he got a bit excited, didn't he? He had eyes on the wickets rather than the ball. You can't get a run out unless you've got the ball in your hands, Matt Heath. That's one of the rules of cricket. I looked that one up earlier.
Is that one of the rules?
Yeah. No, it's in the book.
Well, there's an interesting additional rule to the Black Clash today, isn't there, Jason Hoyt?
Ellis bowls to Fulton, who flicks him over mid-wicket. Oh, and it just bounces before the fieldsman. And they'll come back for a comfortable couple. What was that, Matt Heath?
Well, there's a new rule for the Black Clash today. There's a special kind of an over.
I believe so, my friend. And what's that over called, Matty?
Well, that's a great question. I believe it's called the boy.
I think it's the...
Well, I'd prefer if you told us what it was called, if you could, please, Jason Hoyt.
Well, it's the Duco events double up, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
that's what it's
it means
called,
that
yes.
the captain will call it, and they'll say, in this over, we're going to get double the runs.
No. It's the Duco
double play.
I'll
end your agony. I gave you the opportunity to come across like you knew what you were talking about, Matty, but you just blew it, mate, as this is whipped off the pads to mid-wicket.
Yeah, if I could just sort of pull you up.
126 for 2 after 14.
How can I help you? Someone said that you're the best. I want a divorce.
High-profile client, entertainment industry.
Leave it to us to speak.
We've got this.
I'm scared.
She's hiding something.
Most people aren't. You were up late last night.
It's the guilt that gets to you. You always get caught in the end.
You come for my family, I'll come for yours.
I'm not scared of you. Ready? Definitely.
The Split. Full season streaming now. TV and Set on demand.
No, he's playing footy.
Welcome back to Hagley Oval as the light just begins to fade slightly. This is a full delivery from Spice and backward swept by Fulton for a single.
Yeah, I'll give you now the chance to redeem yourself, Jason Hoyt, after that horrific explanation of the Juco power play.
Double play.
Juco double play. And if you could get it right, please, and I'd appreciate it. We're professionals here.
Spice again bowls to Fulton and he lofts it over the bowler's head straight down the ground. I'll get a couple. Oh, now they'll just go for the one.
Lazy running there, much like the commentary there, just briefly. There's a bit of lazy commentary there. Generally, when you're going to bring something up, you know what you're talking about. That's one of the rules.
Well, my understanding is that the captain of the fielding team can call, captain of the batting team can call a
was one of the
Juco power smash and double runs that over.
Spice bowls to Fleming, who plays a lovely, elegant shot down to long on for a single.
For those viewers out there who are none the wiser, you're not alone.
Well, you give it a go, Mike Minogue. See how you can explain it a little bit in that.
Okay, there's a Juco doubly wobbly.
In comes Spice again, bowling to Fulton, who goes down on one knee and smashes him over mid-wicket for 6 more. How many's that? I think it's 7.
This is becoming problematic for Team Rugby. I mean, who have they got that can do this?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, Geordie Barrett.
Boshier comes to mind, actually, but you just get the feeling that Team Cricket have a point to prove tonight as Spice comes in again and Fulton lost this one high in the air. Could this be his dismissal? Fieldsman converging. Well, actually, that's not true. One fieldsman was retreating from the ball as Izzy Dagg came hearing around the boundary line, and it drops between the two of them.
Yeah, Izzy was by far the fieldsman who was the furthest away from catching this, so he should have given it up, and it would have been a simple catch to the other player out on the boundary, but he had a full head of steam up and was too scared to commit to the dive there, which is disappointing.
Let's go, Spicey, come on!
So essentially, as Spice comes in again, bowling to Fleming.
Go!
Oh, and this is close to the air. Out to mid-off. He's running slowly through for the single. He just makes it home. And the Juco double play is basically you get double the score. So if you score 1 run, it becomes 2. If you score 4, it becomes 8. If you score 6, it becomes 12 for every ball of that over. Does that make it any clearer?
That makes sense.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
I guess you'd want to call it next time Boshier is bowling to Peter Fulton.
Yeah, well, if they had have used it in that over, of course, they would have got 60 from it, which is a pretty impressive return for any over in cricket. Fulton on 80 now from 50 deliveries, 136 for 2 after 15. Still 5 overs to go, fellas.
We've got 5. We can afford to lose one here.
Yeah, I mean, they need another breakthrough, don't they? Preferably almost 2 metre Peter. But they'll take anybody at this stage. And Fleming, obviously, he's got his traditional strike rate going there. 7 off 10, holding up an end. Single here, padding off there. It's not exciting to watch, but when you've got Fulton at the other end, you're wise just to turn the strike over.
Well, I tell you what, Andy Ellis is full of...
catch it!
This is a great shot from Fleming. Straight out to the man at deep mid-wicket, though. And Ellis, he's been throwing in a few words in typical halfback fashion, and he's really been getting under Stephen Fleming's skin. And Fleming now just going down on one knee, lofting him out to deep mid-wicket, and fieldsman taking the catch, and I think that was all due to Andy Ellis giving Flem a bit of stick, Matt Heath.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's now Stephen Fleming's highest score in the Black Clash. Of course, 6 year one and 4 broken toes, and then I think it was a 5 or 6 ball duck last year.
Yeah. So he'll be pleased with that. He's getting better.
Yeah, well, that's all you can do. You can just be better than you were last time, and so he'll be very, very happy with that.
I'm just going to throw down to Guy and see how Flem felt about his innings. Over to you, Guy.
Skip, how'd you feel about that?
It's a little bit better than last year, which was good, but it's very patchy.
The boys were just saying that's your highest score in the T20 Black Clash.
Ah, yeah, it's a PB. Yeah, it's a good day. It's a great day.
But Fultz is hitting them pretty well.
Fultz is on fire. Even when he's trying to just hit singles, he's hitting 4s, which is obviously an ingenious touch. In some ways, we're sort of just trying to manage it and keep him on ice, because if he gets away, the game could be over. So we don't want him to get out. Maybe bet through, get 100.
Last question, since you're the skipper, what score do you want now?
Well, probably somewhere around 170, 180. The Fultz is the only one really. What they don't realise is that our middle order and tail are very rusty and very poor. So we're hiding behind Fultz, and you might see a procession of wickets.
Good man. Go well. Back to you, fellas.
Yeah, great stuff. Thanks, Guy. I tell you what, there's nothing more frustrating as a batsman than trying to hit a single and ending up with a boundary, is there?
It's a disaster. It's embarrassing.
I had a whole season like that. I was just, for the life of me, I couldn't hit a single, but I was continuously hitting boundaries. It was driving me crazy, fellas.
Didn't you open the batting once in a 50 over game, open the batting and then carried your bat for 17?
13, actually. And one of those was an edge down to third man.
Here's an interesting question you might be able to answer, Mike Minogue. If they take a wicket in the Duco Doubly Wubbly over, does that mean it becomes 2 wickets?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. The research that I've been doing into this has revealed to me that it's double everything. So if there's double runs, it's double wickets. If there's 1 streaker, there'll be 2.
Ellis comes in now and bowls to the new man, Styrus, who flicks him firmly to the man at short mid wicket. Doesn't beat him, and there's no run. Another replay of this wicket here from Flem. It was actually a nice strike. He made a good connection with it, but straight down the fieldsman's strike. This is driven by Styrus back to the bowler, no run.
Is this... Are we going to see our first Hundy in the Black Clash competition today? I mean, he's on 80, is 1.89 metre, Peter.
Oh, he beats him in the air, does Ellis, as Styrus came down the wicket. There's going to be overthrows here, and that's going to be 5. There are about 4 fieldsmen converging on it, and none of them got there in time, and it flew through to the boundary for 4.
The wheels are coming off Jason Hoyt. They're not coming off Jason Hoyt. The wheels are coming off Team Rugby, Jason Hoyt. Though to be fair, the wheels are kind of coming off Jason Hoyt as well.
Yeah, that was a disaster, wasn't it? They had the right idea in terms of backing up. They just didn't have the pace to get there.
The lights are on.
Yeah, look at that. They're beginning to spark up. I tell you what, it's going to be absolutely magnificent tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. Ellis bowls to Fulton, who flicks it off his pads out to the bat. What a catch! And Team Rugby finally get the breakthrough. What a knock from Peter Fulton. 80 off 51. And once again, it was a nicely struck shot off his pads. And I think, who is that? Rushier, I think. But relief all round for Team Rugby. And as Stephen Fleming was suggesting, it's very rusty for the rest of the Team Cricket batting lineup. So we're going to cross down to Guy, who's with Peter Fulton.
Peter Fulton, you were seeing it like a beach ball out there.
Yeah, after a while. It took a while to shake off some of the rust, but yeah, no, it was good fun.
Run us through those 5 sixes in a row.
Caleb was the New Zealand under-19 captain when I was coach of the team, so I thought I couldn't go lightly on him. You can't go lightly on, he's a former cricketer, so he knows what he's doing.
Good man, go well, great knock.
Cheers, thank you.
It's Peter Fulton, fellas, back to you.
Yeah, great stuff. Thanks, Guy. What a knock it was. 7 or 8 sixes in total as the hairy javelin Grant Elliott comes out. And he's still in pretty good shape, isn't he, fellas?
Yeah, I mean, he is. And what's not in great shape is Matt Heath's ego after a shocking commentator's curse there. He brought up a potential for the first century in the Black Clash, and next thing you know...
This is turned off the pads by Styrus, backward of square for a single. So that's 16 overs gone. The score 142 for 4.
Hello, ladies, and welcome to Everlasting.
You get cash bonuses for nudity, 911 call, catfight. Welcome to reality. I love it.
Unreal. Full season streaming now on TVNZ On Demand.
The sun goes down, the stars come out.
The hospitality scene in Christchurch is the place to be to experience good times with friends and family.
Never be the same. I'm glad.
That's beautiful, mate.
Yeah, it is. Thanks, mate.
We're friends, eh?
I tell you what, actually, that's totally, or we totally are, Mike.
Good.
We've been to some great restaurants and cafes in Christchurch. It's fantastic stuff. As Skippy Sinclair bowls to Styrus, who has an ungainly swipe at the ball, gets an inside edge down to fine leg for a single.
Welcome back, Mike Lane. You've just missed out on the wicket of 2-metre Peter Fulton, who was absolutely on fire until Matt Heath came in with an absolutely shocking all-time commentator's curse. The next ball, 2-metre Peter's gone.
Yeah, a lot of feedback on 3483 around that shocking commentator's curse from Heath.
Sinclair again, full delivery, and it's driven by Styrus back to the bowler. There's no run. Very excited about these lights coming into effect, fellas. It's going to be quite an evening, that's for sure. Such a lovely day it's been in Christchurch today. 24 odd degrees as Sinclair bowls short, and it's hoiked by Styrus out to the man. A deep mid wicket. And Team Cricket, are they on the verge of a wholesale collapse?
Skippy Sinclair with the wicket. He gave the little double fist pump right into Scott Styrus's face there. A little bit of feeling between those two former teammates.
Yeah, well, it was wide of the off stump, and Styrus improvised and just hoiked it out to the man at deep mid wicket, and another good catch by Geordie Barrett. And Sinclair, well, he's absolutely stoked.
Just a quick question here on 3483, the Duco doubly wobbly over, Mike Minogue. Is that going to be with 2 balls at once?
My understanding is that it's 2 of everything. The batsman will have 2 bats, the bowlers will have 2 balls.
Yep.
Double wickets, double runs, double fun.
So hang on, are you saying then that the Duco doubly wobbly over means that it's actually 12 balls?
Yeah, there's 12 balls, all delivered at once.
Just six balls, but 2 sets of 6.
Yeah, the whole team comes out and has a swing. I think we've cleared that up.
Well, of course, I don't think Team Cricket has used the doubly wobbly Duco over yet, so...
Well, I'm unsure what the Duco doubly wobbly signal is, but I'm sure we'll be told in due course.
Billy Bowden will come up with something exotic.
Billy, grab 2, please. Centre. 3 to go, halfway.
Currently just did fingers there to Billy Bowden.
So the hairy javelin, otherwise known as Grant Elliott, he's at the crease by Billy Bowden.
Let's go, Skip, in again,
Skip. Strong. In comes Sinclair, bowls to Elliott, who drives, poses a little bit after the shot, and there's no run.
Andy.
Of course, the hairy javelin has the ignominy of being dismissed by one Lee Hart in a match recently. She hasn't been able to live down.
In comes Skippy again. This is driven.
Nice,
a little bit of drift there in the air for Sinclair. It's driven down to long on. Well, I don't think any person could live with the fact that Lee Hart dismissed them in a game of cricket.
Here we go, Skip. Got 2 towards you. Yeah, got 2 there. 1 to go.
Someone asking the doubly wobbly over, is there going to be 6 stumps?
Yeah. No, there'll be 6 stumps.
And 2 pitches.
Yeah, 2 pitches.
Started here.
Nathan McCullen, of course, the
16, the next over, 16th.
new batsman. Sinclair again. This is full, and Nicely worked off the pads behind square by McCullum for another single. And I believe we're going to go down to Jordan, who's on the bank.
Yeah, well, the beauty of the Black Clash is it really brings people together, including 6 caddies from the Masters, actually, on Maru. But guys, how are you finding the game so far?
Oh, awesome. Yeah, rugby's on battling, but cricket's going to be the winner on the day, surely.
What's been the highlight for you? Who are we? Rory McIlroy? Rory McIlroy. What's been the highlight for you?
Just people around, the entertainment, and it's been good. Not that...
Nice wee trip up from Oamaru, and also we've got someone ready in case a 12th man is needed. How do you feel if you got the call up?
Oh, I'm just ready to bat. You got to be ready to bat. Always ready to bat.
Back to you guys in the comm box.
That's great stuff. Thanks, Jordan. And the crowd, you can just feel their energy level beginning to rise as the evening gets a little darker here. And I'm picking Mike Lane. In an hour and a half or two, it's really going to be humming here.
Yeah, that's right, Jace.
Richie McCaw bowls to McCullum, who works him down to long on for a single.
No, I just did a bit of a lap before where I was off the commentary, and the crowd is really getting into it. Sold out, officially sold out here at Hagley Park. And the next game here against Australia, the T20, that's sold out. And so get in quick because there's a one-dayer here as well against Bangladesh.
Oh, yeah.
Under the lights.
The great Richie McCaw bowls to Elliott, who stands tall and punches him back to the bowler. There's no run.
Tell you what, for all of Richie McCaw talking up Mark Ellis and Mark Ellis's ability to throw the ball down the other end of the pitch, Richie McCaw's been the standout for me today. He's held his line, he's held his length.
Yeah, well,
very tough to get away.
Moving it in the air as well, isn't he? As he bowls to Elliott, who pulls him behind square for 4.
Shocking commentator's curse.
Well, I played that on Paul Fielding out there from Sinclair.
But to be fair, Mike, how typical of that is that of Richie McCaw to underplay his own achievements and his own ability.
So
I mean, that's a mark of the man.
But I was really...
Driven again by Elliott. Slight miscue as it squirts out to wide mid-on. There's 1 run.
I did find it a little bit disconcerting when we're up in that helicopter flight. Our pilot was Richie McCaw, and he took to reading excerpts from his autobiography to us. And I thought, he should be concentrating on flying the helicopter.
Full and driven by McCullum, straight to the man of cover. Nice bit of fielding, shy at the stumps. No run.
The text feedback line 3483. Obviously, it was just a direct line. If you've got any feedback or mainly complaints, that we'd just be able to sweep them under the carpet if they were directly to us rather than to TVNZ. But someone's got a question here.
This is guided away, and this is a nice shot from McCullum. It's racing down to the boundary. It'll be 4. And that's the end of the 18th. And we'll get back to that question from the viewer after this commercial break. 1:56 for 5.
Does your wife let you smoke? She's a writer too, isn't she? What are we doing?
We have to be careful.
Not all women are allies, Ophelia. Like that I'm pregnant.
Everyone knows about us.
Everyone.
I hope you know that you can trust me.
Oh, this is such a mess.
It was an accident.
Do you want me to carry on?
The Deceived. Full season streaming now. TVNZ On Demand.
Welcome back to Hagley Oval, and here it is, the Juco double play.
The doubly wobbly. Now, all runs are double in this over, Jason Hoyt. And I'm not sure if they're going to bowl with 2 balls and have 6 stumps with 2 pitchers and 2 bats. But let's wait and see.
Well, what we do know for certain is it's whatever you score, it's double. So it's going to be Sinclair given that responsibility. And he'll be bowling to Grant Elliott. And he comes. He stands outside the leg stump, lofts him over cover. It'll go to the boundary for 4. And there's the first 8 of the match.
Yeah, this could prove costly. Like we said before, with those 5 sixes in a row by 1.98 centimetre Peter, that would have been a 60 run over, which we're a real game changer, the doubly wobbly, the Duco doubly wobbly.
Well, a great start for the Duco doubly wobbly double play. And Elliott 14 off 6. And comes Sinclair again. Oh, and that's on his pads, and that's going to run down to the boundary too for 4. I'm not sure that he got bad on it. May have been pad, but there's another 8, 2 8s in a row.
Yeah, and apparently Grant Elliott is the doubly wobbly box. He's got 2 boxes on, right? For the doubly wobbly.
Yes. Yeah, you got to have 2 boxes on at all times. A bit of bat on the edge, Jay. So that is that counts as runs scored there, doesn't it?
16 off 2 deliveries. I'm just looking at the umpires' outfits, actually, guys. It looks like someone's spilt a pot of paint on them.
Yeah, well, of course, Billy Bowden, as we were talking about earlier, is blind in both eyes, and you can see there he's dropped his lunch all over himself there. And is that a velvety number he's got on? He's got his dancing pants on instead of his umpiring pants, and look, he's doing a little jiggle there. He's putting out the vibe.
I'm not sure what's going on there, to be honest with you, as Sinclair comes in, bowls to the hairy jab. Oh, and he tries that lap shot over the keeper, makes no contact.
So the feedback line is lighting up on the doubly wobbly. There's a lot of questions around the Duco doubly wobbly over, which I'm not sure I'm going to get into just yet. But there is a question here. I got my ski rope caught in my jet ski. Any hints on how to get it out?
Yeah.
Personally, I hate jet skis, so I'm not going to help you with that at all. Nothing worse than being in a lovely
I find if you drive through a big pot of dolphins, you know, it'll soon come loose.
And film it.
Yeah.
So 172 for 5. We're in the 19th over. Sinclair coming into the hairy javelin, Grant Elliott. Full of wide, lofted in the air to cover. They'll run through for what will end up being a 2.
You really got to take advantage of this Duco doubly wobbly over, the cricketers. Have, there's 18 off it so far, but...
Look, doubly wobblies don't come around often. I've played a ton of cricket and I've never seen a doubly wobbly.
Oh, this is a good ball from Sinclair to feed it out to backward point, and they'll get another single and hence 2 more runs.
Do the batsmen know that it's a doubly wobbly? Because they're not really attacking the ball, are they? There's little laps, there's little, you know, just pushing it around corners and things, and that's not how you play a doubly wobbly.
It's already a pretty handy score for Team Cricket as Sinclair bowls the last ball of the doubly wobbly over. It's punched down the ground to long off for a single or 2, and not too bad. 16, 22 off the over.
Yeah, they'll be a bit disappointed with that, I think, Mike Minogue. Just 22 off the doubly wobbly, the Duco doubly wobbly over, but didn't take full advantage, but it's still a pretty handy score with 1 over to go here at Hagley. 78 for 5.
Well, just with our pick of scores, I think my score with 1 over to go might be out the window. I went for 345. Jace, you were looking at 285.
Well, I actually was the more sensible option. I chose 186, so I'm still in the game, Mike Minogue, and Jason Hoy. Your predictions were just a bit immature, if you ask me.
Well, we're expecting bigger things from the doubly wobbly. You know, the doubly wobbly comes through, and all of a sudden you're looking at your 285s, your 350s.
So Izzy Dagg's been given the responsibility of tying it all up for Team Rugby. They've fought that pretty well, really, when you consider that Peter Fulton was in full flight, 5 sixes in a row of consecutive balls. And he couldn't stop hitting boundaries at one point, even though he wasn't trying to, apparently, as Dagg comes in, bowls to Elliott, who stands outside, off stump, and lofts him over long on for 6. And can I ask you guys, did that shot remind you of any other particular shot that he's played like that?
Yeah, it did have an air of Eden Park, 2015. 11? Was it 11?
15. 11.
It was almost the exact same shot. He stood outside off stump, just pumped him over long on for 6. Izzy Dagg again, short, lofted in the air from Elliott, out to the man at a whitish cover. Oh, a shy at the stumps, and there's 1 run.
It's great to see the the ACC black flaps being worn there by Andy Ellis and a few of the rugby boys, and plenty of Hauraki Steady the Ships around the crowd as well.
Absolutely. They're smart-looking hats, aren't they, those black flaps? And they give you the coverage around the neck, which you so often don't get with your normal hat.
A lot more sun smart than the Steady the Ship, that's for sure.
Dag again, full and nicked by McCullum through to Nu'u. Has a bit of a stumble. He hasn't been gloving the ball that cleanly this afternoon, or Nu'u.
No, I mean, he's a terrible wicketkeeper. But the only thing he's worse at is anywhere else out on the field. So, you need him in your team. He's a nice guy. He's a good guy. But put him behind the stumps.
Dag again, bowls to McCullum, who tees off straight down the ground. They'll attempt it to. No, they won't. Far too much effort involved there. And so we'll keep it to the 186 for 5, 2 balls remaining.
So we're now looking at your pick of score, Mike Lane. This is the score that you predicted at the start of this game would be the end score. Of course, it won't be, but still pretty close.
Dag again to Elliott. Clips him the back foot wide of mid-wicket for another single.
And I'm sure you paid attention, Mike Minogue, during the pitch report that Matt Heath and I did, that I did mention, and I did say it was a 180 pitch. So I'd like to say that out of all the rubbish that was talked during that pitch report, there was one fact that came out.
Yeah.
Last ball of the innings for team cricket. Oh, it's a beautifully bowled Yorker by Izzy Dag. A despairing dive at cover out to the man at deep cover. I'm sure they'll scamper, or rather meander back for 2. And that's the end of the innings for team cricket. A formidable 189 for 5. And that is going to be a Herculean task for team rugby, you'd think, fellas.
Yeah, it will be. But, they've got Matt Sinclair in the team, top scored last year with 60. I think a lot will rely on him. I think they have to play the doubly wobbly, the Duco doubly wobbly, to their advantage. But I wouldn't write them off at all, Jason.
That's right. And you've also got, Callum Boshiers in there. It's not a done deal. Geordie Barrett, he can swing a willow as well. Afisa Tanu is, as I've said, he's a terrible batsman, so he'll be out pretty quickly. But I think they'll definitely make a game of this. The lights are on. The excitement is here. Everybody's been having a great evening out, and it's been a real joy this first innings, Jason Hoy.
Yeah, it has been, mate, and I believe we're going to throw down to Jordan, who has the hairy jab with her.
Yes, indeed. Now, you've got to be happy with that knock.
Well, Flem sort of said we needed probably about 170. So I think we're really happy with where we're at the moment. 80 odd, I think, at the end. At 189, not bad.
And personally, good from you out there.
Yeah. It's all about the team, though. Flem makes sure that, that's the biggest thing, is team cricket stays close together. We make sure that's the only way we're going to beat rugby.
And you've got to be stoked for Flem after 2 ducks in a row. He finally got some runs out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, you saw when he was happy when he got off the mark before. But, yeah, maybe good move from Flem, putting the 2 openers, another Marshy and Peter Fulton batted really well.
Hell of a team effort. Well done. Good luck for the second innings.
Thank you.
Great stuff, Jordan. Well, there you go. As the light begins to fade here at Hagley Oval, these fantastic new lights are beginning to take effect. Let's have a look at the scoreboard. Hamish Marshall, of course, caught and bowled Dag, 37 off 20. Peter Fulton caught Boshier, bowled Alice, 80 off 51, including, I think, 7 or 8 sixes. Craig McMillan caught Barrett, bowled Alice, 4 off 10. S. Fleming caught Jordan, bowled Alice, 7 runs off 11. That was a great knock from the skipper.
Yeah, it was a real skipper's knock.
It was a real skipper's knock, wasn't it? Scott Styrus caught Barrett, bowled Sinclair, 8 off 7. Elliott, 34 off 13. And McCullum, 11 off 8. I'm going to talk us through the bowling card, Mike Lane.
Yeah, looks like everyone rolled the arm over at least once out there, except for Fisa Tonu. But, pick of the bowlers, Andy Ellis with 3 wickets. His 3 overs, 3 for 15. What an effort from him. Just sending down nudes, had nothing on them, and really frustrated the team cricket.
Boshier, a little expensive.
Yeah, that was the 5 sixes in a row. He bowled the 1 over for 30. Not a great economy rate for him at 30, but
So after 20 overs then, Team Cricket 189 for 5.
During the break, we'll have plenty more for you. Interviews inside as the players have their dinner, and Jordan will be out amongst the crowd. Stick around, we'll be back shortly.
No more crime corruption. Or the original goes public.
You've seen it.
This is great.
A man died. So I will ask you once more.
You knew and you didn't say.
Yes!
He may not remember. It'll make your life hell if he does.
I remember.
Between Two Worlds. Full season streaming now. TVNZ On Demand.
Hello, hello, hello.
I'm waking up at the start of the end of the world, but it's feeling just like every other morning before. Now I wonder what my life is gonna mean if it's gone. The cars are moving like a half a mile an hour, and I started staring at the passengers and waving goodbye. Can you tell me what was ever really special about me?
Peter, he really took to the Team Rugby attack, as did Hamish Marshall, and got the Team Cricket side off to an absolutely brilliant start, laid a great platform. Marshall, particularly early on, played some lovely shots down the ground, and then, well, it was a miracle catch from Israel Daggy. Admitted to the fact that he didn't have any idea what was going on. That was lofted by Fulton, and this was a sensational passage of play. 5 sixes off consecutive balls, so sweetly struck. And just after Matt Heath had told him to hurry up, and that was some beautiful hitting from Peter Fulton. And then the Team Cricket lost their way a little bit. Good to see the New Zealand skipper finally got off the mark in these matches. Was caught in the deep. This was flicked off the pad by Starris. Another good catch in the deep. And Team Rugby clawing their way back. Another great catch from Geordie Barrett, and Sinclair came on, and that was a lovely lofted shot by Alice. The hairy jab. And in the end, a pretty formidable total for Team Rugby to chase.
It certainly is, Jason. You'd have to say dinner would probably be tasting pretty good for them right now. Let's head inside to where they are having a little bit of a feed. Jordan Oppett is inside with some of the players.
Yep, so Team Rugby's just come upstairs and they're trying to refuel for the second innings. Caleb, tell us what's on the menu tonight.
We've got some beef here, got some pork belly as well, with a bit of mac and cheese.
Do you think that's going to be enough to chase down this total that Team Cricket said?
Yeah, I think it is. I think their total's okay, but I think we've got the batting line up to win it.
And we've got 12th man here as well, just mid-bite of a bun. How's it going out there for you, mate?
Yeah. Sorry, it's good fun, yeah.
You're taking that water job very seriously. What is the key out there, and how cold are those drinks for the lads?
It's got to keep them hydrated, so keep them in the fridge and then head out once they get a wicket or once they need them.
Brilliant. Unsung hero of this. I might actually let you guys eat, and I'll just quickly show you around as well. So if we quickly swing over here, we've got Ted, Sir Graham, Henry, all eating their food over there. How's that going over there for you, Richie?
Bloody good.
Bloody good. What about you, Ted?
Outstanding.
Right, we'll head back to you guys out on the field.
Thank you, Jordan. They actually look a little bit happier than I was anticipating. They know they've got a big task ahead of them, but they look more than up for the challenge indeed after a bit of refueling. We'll take a short break here. We'll be back very shortly with plenty more in the break between innings in the Hot Spring Spa T20 Black Clash. Jimmy Neesham are out in the middle. Team Cricket is making their way out there as well. And I believe it's Will Jordan and Officer Tunuu who will open the batting for Team Rugby in their big chase of 190 to win this game of the T20 Black Clash. Let's head back upstairs to the Alternative Commentary Collective led by Jason Hoyt.
Yeah, great stuff. Thank you, Guy. What a beautiful evening it is at Hagley Oval too. And Team Rugby faced with the monumental task of chasing down 189, so needing 190 for the win. And I believe that we've got the one and only Adam Podore on the field with us. Adam, how are you going, mate?
Good evening, gents. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Yourself?
Well, I'm here and we're into it. I think 190s probably should be enough.
There was a real sense of urgency from Team Cricket tonight, Adam. The last two matches have been very close indeed, and it feels like you guys are just maybe trying to make a point tonight.
Yeah, I think there's been a bit of focus in the lead-up, that's for sure. So we'll see if it's enough. But, yeah, certainly no lack of effort and application, that's for sure.
Was the focus on cricket, Adam, or was the focus on other things in the lead-up to this game?
Well, some of us are a little more mature and a little more professional than others. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, no, good call, mate. Good call. Hey, I don't know if you've ever played at Hagley Oval before, Adam, but beautiful ground, isn't it?
Yeah, I've seen it on the telly, obviously, but this is the first time I've been here. It's a beautiful surface. I think there's really something to be said for these purpose-built cricket grounds. I mean, it really is, yeah, magnificent. Looking forward to this, actually. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're planning a big game of bull rush after the game tonight, if you're keen, mate.
I don't know if I'll have much left, but we'll see how we go.
I tell you what, it's going to be pretty spectacular too with these lights in play, Adam. That's going to be something special tonight.
Yeah, the boys, well, we were keen to bowl second under the lights, so I think that'll work in our favour. It is a magnificent spectacle. It's sold out. Haven't done this for about 18 or 20 years, I think. I forgot how much fun it is.
Great stuff, Adam. We'll have a good one tonight, mate. Enjoy the occasion. We'll speak to you later as we're about to kick off here. And the energy level in the crowd has lifted greatly. You can just feel the anticipation. And Matt Heath, you really have to feel that Team Rugby have to come out all guns blazing from the start.
Well, they've got to believe, haven't they? They've got to believe they're going to do it. I mean, who have they got that can do it? Matthew Sinclair, he's jumped teams. He scored 60 last time. I mean, a lot rests on his shoulders. We haven't seen all these players. Will Jordan.
Oh, and this is a very elegant defensive shot from Tunuu there as he scampers through for a single, and they're off the mark straight away. Come on, here's a interesting question for you, Mike Minogue. Who did Adam Gillespie say was the most difficult international bowler that he ever faced?
Well, obviously, I've never heard of a cricket player called Adam Gillespie. Adam Gilchrist.
Adam Gilchrist. Sorry, I knew it wasn't right from the
You've
start.
embarrassed yourself again.
Rubbish from you, Jason Hoyt.
Yeah, really disappointing, actually. I'm going to send in my own complaint on. What was that text number?
3483.
This is a nice defensive prod by Jordan too, and what a superstar he is, and gets the cheers from the boys in the changing room.
He's one of those winner kind of guys, isn't he, Will Jordan? He's one of those X-factor players, definitely on the rugby field. Never seen him on the cricket field before, but you get the vibe from him that he can make things happen.
Well, you just get to say things and you don't really have to back them up, do you, Matt Heath? It's the beauty of commentary.
Mills again, bowls to Tunuu, gets one on the pad. Well, the answer to my question...
Kyle Mills.
Yes, Kyle Mills. Adam Gilchrist said the most difficult bowler he faced internationally was Kyle Mills.
It would have been weird if you were talking about sort of Alan Donald or something like that, because he's not playing.
Yeah, White Lightning.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Well, at this rate, they're never going to win, are they?
No, if they keep up this rate, no, they won't.
It's a solid start, let's put it that way. Mills bowls again to Tunuu, tries to slash him away, makes no contact.
Tunuu, can you see him running threes?
Yeah, well, he just pumped through for that quick single there. It's a case of Tunuu, what you're going to do when he starts pounding you out to the boundaries there. He has got some real firepower.
Yeah, he looks like he could hit the ball a long way, that's for sure. And he's got a lovely compact technique, doesn't he? Holds the bat aloft and nicely defended again by Tonu'u out to the man at square leg. That's Jacob Oram, the big Jacob Oram. What is it with cricket players and beards?
Well, I mean, that's how do you answer a question like that, Jason Hoyt? What is it with cricket players and beards? Mike Minogue?
What is it with middle-aged men in their 40s and beards?
Bills again, bowls to Tonu'u, tries to turn around the corner, and Jordan says, not in your Nelly.
It's man's makeup, isn't it, Mike Minogue and Jason Hoyt? You can maybe cover up a few chins. You can shape your jaw out a little bit with facial hair. And look, who knows what's under Jacob Oram's beard, but I'm sure it's not as good as what was under there in his 20s.
That's right. You look great with facial hair, Matt Heath. You've got a really weak chin. It's really improved by having that facial hair covering.
It really sort of builds it up, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, let's look at the Team Rugby batting lineup. Sinclair in next, Boshier, who can hit a ball a long way. McKenzie, Barrett, Ellis, Dag, Ellis, Spice and Webber. So it was interesting. I was watching the last match that was played in the Black Pash. And Webber, even though he didn't score a lot of runs, was a very compact, had a great technique. He would have been a great test opener, I would have thought, Matt Heath.
It took him 9 balls to get off the mark last year, Jason Hoyt, but absolutely had a great technique.
Jacob Oram, and again, bowls to Jordan, has a swish down the leg side, no contact. It's good to see that Daniel Vittori has pulled his beard back a little from the last match. He was really going for the Dumbledore look, wasn't he, Matt Heath?
Yeah, it looked like he was hiding for something. We went into great detail about it last year, but when you grow a beard that big, you're hiding from something. You're hiding from the world.
And you made the point, Matt Heath, that he's sort of gone from Harry Potter to Dumbledore, as you're saying.
And
but look at him, he's gorgeous.
Oh, this is lofted by Jordan off his pads. He beats the man at square leg, and they'll get a comfortable 2.
So Geordie Barrett could be the key. He's hit 4 sixes in the history of the Black Clash, I believe, just off the top of my head.
Is that a stat, or is that just something you've made up?
That's just a vibe. I feel like he's hit about 4, maybe more.
Sure.
But did you get that kind of vibe, or 3?
Right. Yeah, it's in the 3 to 5 zone. So I'll go with you on that. God, look at him, he's gorgeous.
Oh, jeez, like he's got the guppy dead shark eyes there. He looks very serious.
Oh, this is struck him on the box there somewhat painfully by the looks of it. He's a bit of a stretched as Will Jordan. He's one of those incredibly irritating people whereby not only is he really good looking, but he's good at everything he does sport-wise.
Who's this?
Will Jordan.
He is very good looking.
Will Jordan.
I mean,
he's got a great future ahead of him.
Something that struck me about him was not so much his talent, but he is very good looking. Very good looking. Yeah. See?
Very good looking.
Have a look at that.
Feast your eyes, New Zealand.
Oram to Jordan again. Oh, and he goes down the wicket. And he spats him over square leg. Mid-wicket for 6. Great shot, that one.
What do I tell you? X Factor player. Big game player. Clutch player.
It's a good-looking shot, and he looked good hitting it, didn't he, Jace?
He sure did. It was very nicely played, actually. Kept his eye on the ball. Hit through it, and backward of square for 6.
Can I just say, Jason Hoyt, you looked good calling it.
Thanks, mate.
What about me?
Terrible.
Well, this is full of delivery. Flicks it off his pads. Doesn't beat Perore behind the stumps, and there's no run.
Well, no, it doesn't beat Perore behind the stumps, and I think what we're going to find there is having an actual professional or former professional cricket player behind the stumps is really going to do a lot of favours for the cricket side, isn't it?
Well, look at the way Perore brings the ball so smoothly into his hands. You don't hear anything. There's not even the slightest sound as the balls go into his hands.
Wide and slashed and dropped. Oh, and who was that? It was Nathan McCullum at a wideish second slip, slashed away by Jordan. It would have gone at pace, and he puts it down. There's a bit of a chuckle to himself. He always had a great pair of hands, Nathan McCullum.
They've left him.
Well, he took a screamer last year, but yeah, in the year's a long time, and it looks like he's forgotten how to catch the ball. That can happen to you.
Yeah, I mean, he looks all at sea there, doesn't he? Look at him. Not exactly graceful.
Oram again to Young. Oh, strikes him in front there. No appeal. That's the end of the second over 11 without loss.
There's no shame in saying this isn't for me.
What is for me?
How do you know?
I just know.
Coroner. Full season streaming now, TVNZ On Demand.
Welcome back to Hagley Oval as Mills bowls to Tonu'u. There's a bit of a mix-up. There's a shot at the stumps. He would have been well short, Tonu'u, but he gets home in the end in a real mix-up at the crease there between Jordan and Tonu'u.
There's been some real... He's sort of... Professor Tonu'u, he really reminds me of... something about him is very Ross Taylor-like, isn't it? And it's not his batting. I think it's his attempt to run out his partner at every opportunity.
Mills short and wide and slashed away by Jordan behind point for 4. Boy, he's got the goods, this guy. That was a lovely shot. Short and wide and just slashed. Oh, he held his form beautifully there behind point for 4.
Well, what do you think of Team Cricket's field positions? I mean, they're very attacking at this stage. What would you do? What would you change, Mike Minogue?
Tucked away again elegantly by Jordan to the man at backward point. There's no run.
I'd come round the wicket for a start. You know, I like mixing up the angles. I'd have in another slip. I'd have a leg slip and a silly mid on. Deep cover, backward square leg, and that's all you need. I don't think these guys can hit the ball down the ground.
Bills again. Goes to Jordan, who just punches it out. A short mid-on position. They'll get another single. Look at those lights, fellas.
Beautiful.
Take effect, isn't it?
What an addition to cricket in New Zealand.
I'm really surprised by how bright they are. It's like having 6 suns out there, isn't it?
Yes. I was a little surprised how close Richie flew to them today. Flew next to them, you know, in the helicopter. I was getting a bit concerned there for a second, fellas. Mills again, bowls to Tonu, gets struck on the pad. Struck him just outside off stump, not out.
And you see there just then, he set off for another run, didn't he?
Yes.
He had no idea where the ball was, and off he went.
Now, earlier today, we were suggesting if you've got any feedback about the commentary team, instead of sending it directly to TVNZ or putting it on the TVNZ Facebook page, send it to us at 3483. We'll manage it, and I can tell TVNZ it's been 100% positive so far.
Mills bowls again to Tonu, who gets the ball outside off stump and works it nicely to mid-wicket for a single. And I believe we've got Jordan down on the ground, and she's talking to the great Joseph Parker.
Well, yeah, I've just had to wrangle him away from the kids. G'day, Joseph. Jordan, how are you?
Oh, good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Just over a month to the fight. How's preparations going?
Preparation is fantastic. I'm in a great place at the moment. We're 5 weeks before the fight. I'm pretty excited because it was postponed the first time, but training camp is good. I'm eating good, resting well, training hard. I can't wait.
How did you manage a night in the Garden City away from training?
Listen, I come here to support the cricket, support the event, the boys, and it's great to be here where there's a great crowd, great atmosphere, and time away from training.
You just said Team Cricket, so are you Team Cricket side? Are you taking sides?
I like all the boys. They're all good, all of them.
All the boys. Is that the commentary box included?
Yes, everyone that's it.
On that note, back up to you guys.
Thanks, Jordan. Oram bowls to Tonu, gets a thick outside edge down to third man. I had the pleasure of interviewing Joseph Parker. What a lovely bloke he is, a true champion. I'll be honest with you though, fellas, I reckon I could take him.
Yeah, I think you could as well. It's like keep your guard up, protect your face, and a couple of rounds, let him do his business, and then start counter punching.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my technique would be I'd go to the body, to the body, to the body, to the body, then he drops his hands, boom, over the top.
Lights out. How tall are you, Jason? What is it, 5'6", 5'4"? 5'3". Over the top.
Oram bowls to Jordan, who once again comes down the ground pitch and just spanks him behind square for 4.
Great start from Team Rugby. We'd all but written them off. I know, Mike Minogue, you'd written them off, hadn't you? You completely wrote them off. You got a big pen out and you wrote them off. But you didn't factor on Will Jordan.
No, I didn't. I didn't know who
You forgot he was playing, and
I didn't know what he did, but I can see him now. And as you've already mentioned before, Matt Heath, he's a good-looking man.
Oram again. This is short and wide. Slash through point for 4 more by Jordan. He's obviously got a very, very good eye, and he's timing the ball beautifully. And Jacob Oram, the big man, under some pressure now.
Good eye and good cheekbones as well. He's a total package, isn't he?
Absolutely. Served it up there, didn't he, though, Jacob Oram?
It was a pie.
This is defended out to mid-wicket by Jordan for another single. I tell you what, you were talking about Adam Purore. We had a little chat with him earlier on. Geez, he still moves like a leopard behind those stumps.
Yeah, sort of an elderly leopard that's been at the zoo for too long,
He climbed Mount Everest a couple of years ago, of course, didn't he?
Wow, did he?
Well, he said he did. There's the photos.
Wow. Does that look like the face of a man who's climbed Mount Everest?
It does, actually.
Oram again, bowls to Tunu, struck on the pad again, a stifled appeal, and umpire Neesham says not out.
Can I just get this straight? You're questioning whether Adam Purore actually climbed Mount Everest, as he says and wrote in his book about Mount Everest.
If he said he climbed Mount Everest, I guess we have to take him at his word, don't we? You take people at your word. I remember when I climbed Mount Everest, but people lauded me, they talked me up, but I don't bang on about it. I don't write books about it. I just get on with my day.
Oram again. Big appeal for LBW. Once again, strike him outside the line, I believe. That's the end of the fourth, 28 without loss.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Some crunches of oil. We have reggae music.
Hot Spring Spas. With over 20 local dealers nationwide, customers are never without aftercare service and support.
Great stuff, Jace.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Yep.
Look at those boys. They've got steady their ship hats on, and beautiful evening in the Garden City. The lights are coming on. What an occasion, Mike Lane.
Yeah, a lot of people asking where they can get those steady the ship hats and black flaps. You can win them on Radio Hodaki.
This is spanked by Jordan. One bounce for 4 over the bowler's head. Boy, oh boy, this guy's got some talent. Woo.
Yeah, they're genuine cricket shots, Mike Minogue. A couple of cut through point, but timing perfection.
And he's a total package, isn't he? He's sort of he messes with the bowler's length. He advances down the pitch. He steps outside the line to free his arms up. I'm loving what I'm seeing, especially his face.
And Craig McMillan winding up Kyle Mills as well. But big fast bowlers don't like being hit back over their head.
No.
Minogue. So expect some short stuff here, I think, from Kyle Mills.
He comes again. Oh, that's a good shout, but going down, in my opinion. Not out, says umpire Billy Bowden. And Mills can't believe it. Hey, I believe we're going to be crossing down to Jordan, who's by said spa, Pauls. Is that right, Jordan?
Wow, check this out. Is this not the place to be? How's it feeling in here? Nice temperature?
Yeah, it's good. It's real warm. We're happy.
What about you?
Yeah, it's pretty good. We're just a bit thirsty.
Well, I tell you what, we've got some tropical snows up here. Would you like me to get you one? Do you want a tropical snow? Or would you like a choc bar? You've got a selection here.
I'm talking about the breakers.
So Will Jordan again, another 4 down the ground. He's timing it sweetly as Will Jordan, and Kyle Mills will not be happy about that at all.
Well, we were talking about Mike, as Mills comes in again for Jordan. Oh, lovely slashing shot past the man at third slip, but he'll just get a single. he's getting plenty of vocal support from his teammates in the shed.
Sort of.
Oh, and Tonu'u gets into the act and slaps him. Wow, it's just trickling to the boundary, but pulls him nicely through mid-on for 4.
Yeah, Kyle Mills been hit for 13 in this over, and he's not holding back, Kyle Mills. He's coming off the full run-up, Mike Minogue. And I think, once again, Team Cricket will be getting a little bit nervous. This is eerily similar to the 2019 game.
Yeah, well, you can tell he is steaming in, isn't he? It's fallen wide and slapped by Tonu'u out to a wideish mid-off, and he'll get another single. 42 without loss after 5.
Of course, it's very difficult to set a field to Fisa Tonu'u because he swings about, he doesn't know where he's hitting it. He's got absolutely no idea. It's a surprise to everybody at the ground and to him especially.
Yeah, it's always difficult to set a field to a batsman that's rolling his eyes into the back of his head and just having a bit of a swish at the ball. But they're doing very well. 42 off 5. Jordan is 32 off 17.
Of course, a big part of the Black Clash is every year the coaches will get in a special person, a New Zealand celebrity or someone that's done well, to come in and give the teams a special pre-game fire-up talk.
Oram bowls to Tonu'u, gets a big top edge over Parore, down to the boundary for 4, and I can tell you at the same stage, Team Cricket actually, fellas, after 5 overs were 37 without loss. So Team Rugby off to a flyer.
Yeah, a bit lucky there though from Fisa Tonu'u, big wild swing.
You take all the runs you can get, don't you?
Well, when they're going to, and they do the doubly wobbly.
Yeah, well, that's what everyone at the ground is asking themselves. It's on everybody's lips. Doubly wobbly.
13 off 14 to Tonu'u. Oh, and he does a little lap shot down to 5 leg for 4. Great stuff. Great stuff.
Well, he's already feeling low to the ground, isn't he, Fisa Tonu'u? So he just had to go a little bit further down and just scoops it Dilshan style down to fine leg boundary for 4.
Yeah, well, there were tinges of even McCullum there, Baz McCullum, and it was an excellent shot from Tonu'u as, he gets struck again. That's another big shout, and Jimmy Neesham says too high and going down, and Team Cricket not happy.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get a decision out of Jimmy Neesham.
Which is interesting because when he doesn't get a decision going his way, he has an absolute paddy, doesn't he? It's a great initiative, actually, getting players to umpire as Oram comes in again. This is turned off the pads by Tonu'u, backward of square for a single. And they've started doing that in club cricket, that guys that get suspended for a while actually now have to go and umpire matches, which I think is a really good idea.
Well, of course, you're a former umpire, Jason, but yes, your career was left in tatters once you joined the ACC, and your reputation and any sort of dignity you had was lost.
You were beaten up many times, weren't you?
Yeah, mate, and
poor decision.
You can't get respect on the field when people are laughing at you, that's for sure, and not taking you seriously and telling you jokes in between balls and wanting a selfie, that sort of thing. It's very difficult.
A selfie with you?
No, just wanting me to take a selfie of them. Yeah, and stuff. Dan's looking very... What's Dan's look at the moment? You know Dan Vittori very well, Mike Lane. What's he running with there?
He's gone for the scruffy beard, big moustache.
Yeah, nice. Oram short and wide, and another top edge from Jordan down to the boundary for 4. That's 6 overs gone. Team Rugby going well at 55 without loss.
Eyes and ears.
Oh, no.
Educators is back.
Put on a great deal of weight since I last saw you.
Yeah, you too.
This year, they'll need to stick to the rules.
You can't live in the school.
Can't I?
do their homework,
I got a fan there for you. You'd like that.
Tongan.
have good people skills,
Not exactly a compliment, is it? Calling my daughter a mongrel.
and show some real maturity.
Are you allowed to be in the school production? Yeah.
Educators Season 2, full season streaming now, TVNZ On Demand.
Welcome back to Hagley Oval as we look at that beautiful sunset. It's a full house. The lights are on. Nathan McCullum takes up the attack as Tanu'u tucks him nicely out to cover for a single.
Of course, we were talking earlier on about Mike Lane, about how it's a tradition for the coaches of each side to bring in a New Zealand celebrity to do a team talk just prior to them walking out onto the field.
A cap presentation as well, I believe.
That's
so
right.
As a team talk.
Yeah, and this year Team Cricket had Dame Kitty Takanawa.
Oh, nice.
Came in and did a truly stirring rendition of Dave Dobbin's Loyal.
Excellent.
McCullum around the wicket to Jordan. He punches it back to the bowler. No run.
There was not a dry eye in the house. Truly, it gave new meaning to Dave's words. I know Dave, obviously, he sings it beautifully, but Dame Kitty.
Oh, and he goes back on his stumps. Does Jordan trying to slash him away? Makes no contact.
And they in team cricket?
Well, team rugby.
Oh, sorry.
Tried to get in Willie Apiata.
McCullum again bowls to Jordan, who elegantly slashes him to deep cover for a single.
Unfortunately, he was unavailable, so they got Clark Gayford.
Admirable replacement.
Yeah, he did a Macarena. She's very good at, and he can do that flossing.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Cullum again. Oh, the backward sweep by Tanu'u. He's entertaining to watch, that's for sure. That goes out to deep cover for another single.
It's got a bit of the Mecca. It's got a bit of the Mecca attitude.
It's, I think Afisa Tanu'u should just play comedy shots because he seems to be middling more as comedy shots than his actual legitimate cricket shots. So the more reverse sweeps, the better from Afisa Tanu'u.
And McCullum, this is launched by Jordan over mid-wicket for 6. It was short. It was a rank short ball. And Jordan just rocked back on his stumps and pumped him over mid-wicket.
Yeah, well, the Komodo Dragon, Nathan McCullum, he was mixing up his pace a little bit and he deceived Will Jordan a couple of times, but then he just dropped the rank. Half tracker and easy pickings for a player like Will Jordan, who's in great nick. 43 off 23 for...
Well, I believe, speaking of Jordan, we're going to go to Jordan on the bank.
Found another family here that I'm just making myself at home with. Lynn, how are you finding the cricket tonight?
Oh, it's great. Great.
What's been your favourite part so far? See, Lynn didn't want to do this, so I just threw in the deep end. How are you guys loving it?
Yeah. Real fun.
Who's your favourite player?
Will Jordan.
Everyone's favourite's Will Jordan. What about somebody else?
Richie McCaw.
Richie McCaw. So you guys are clearly Team Rugby, aren't you?
Yeah.
What about you, Mum? You loving it down here?
Yeah, no, it's great.
Good game. Good way to bring the kids down and buy some time, hey? Fun. All right, back to you guys in the comm box.
Great stuff. Thanks, Jordan. Looks like they're having a good time down there on the banks as Scotty Styrus comes into the attack. Holding to Tanu'u, gets a short ball, pulls him behind square for a single. I like a good picnic, fellas, on the banks there to the...
What's your go-to cold meat that you have up on the picnic, Jace?
Oh, look, I'm a big fan of the club sandwich, Mike, and we've had some fierce discussions about club sandwiches.
Well, it's a Dagwood down here in the South Island, not a club sandwich.
Oh, is it a Dagwood?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. There you go. A thermos. I like to bring my tranny with me.
Yeah, who?
My tranny, my little tranny radio, and maybe some nice peaches or something like that. Just.
Do you have whole peaches, mate, or are they in a can? Because I know you like a syrup.
No, I like a nice ripe peach, Mike.
A ripe
can,
peach.
And
I like a rotten peach.
Do you? Styrus bowls to Tanu'u, tries to slash him away, makes no contact. But certainly a club sandwich. If I can, I've got a little sort of heating device in my picnic hamper. Well, it's, you heat it up and then you put it in there. in this particular container, and it keeps the saucy rolls nice and warm.
Oh yeah. Is it going back? Is it an old tranny or a new one?
Oh, my tranny's very old, and I'd say probably going. Oh, it actually used to be my granddad's tranny, and he used to have it out in the shed when he was, building his caravans, and I remember asking him.
Jason, I know you get emotional when you talk about your grandfather because he was a very important man to you, and when he got hit by that truck.
Yes.
Oh, Scotty. Good, man.
Slap to mid-wicket, to cover, and there's no run. But I always wanted that tranny, that particular radio, because it had a real special quality about it, and I take it everywhere I go, particularly to a cricket match. I used to love going to see, first-class cricket, domestic first-class cricket, when I was supposed to be at university.
Yeah. The crackling tranny.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those ones you had to wind as well. This is another lap shot from Mutu.
Fleming, he could see it. They did set the trap, and he almost preempted it and stuck a big mitt out, but it didn't quite stick.
Oh, what I love the breakthrough. Well, that's 8 overs gone, 69 without loss.
Nice.
Join Slingshot on 24-month unlimited broadband and score a choice tablet, the perfect gift for someone special.
Or add power and score this even choicer tablet instead, to keep all to yourself.
Hey!
You might think some people are born lucky, but luck is something that you make happen. If you follow my system, I'll give you the world.
Are you going to embrace your destiny?
You brainwashed him.
Fraud, arson, attempted murder, I've got it all.
I can deliver a lot worse.
Who's calling? A winner.
On Becoming a God in Central Florida. Full season streaming now, TVNZ On Demand.
No better place to be than Christchurch in summer, with plenty of activities to pass the time away.
It certainly is, and we flew over that bike trail today. Of course, the Fleet River flowing through the city. So many great eateries and bars and restaurants. It's really coming into its own, Christchurch.
New ones popping up every day.
McCullum bowls to Tonu, and this has been a great opening stand, Matt Heath. 69 without loss, and we're in the 9th over.
Yeah, Rug doing very well. 69 for nothing. You'd written them off, hadn't you, Mike Lane? You didn't say they had a chance. And heck,
I still don't think they do.
You don't?
Oh, and this is another reverse sweep from Tonu, who's racing down to the boundary for 4. Well, I think you're right, Mike Lane. I think that Tonu just needs to be playing the comedy strokes.
Yeah, he's middling every comedy shot. The reverse sweep, the reverse lap. So that's all you should play. Matt Heath, just heard that next year's Black Clash is still to be confirmed where it's going to be. So we're taking suggestions on where it should be. Pukekura Park, potentially, or Tauranga.
Cracked by Tonu, a bit of a misfield there at cover, and I'll get another single. It was Styrus.
Clifton Cricket Club potentially out there in the Hawke's Bay.
3 for 8 3. Your suggestions of where the next Black Clash should be. Carlaw Park. How's Carlaw Park looking these days?
I think it's got apartment buildings on it, or it's a car park. I'm not sure.
Yeah, clear those out, and be a great spot for the Black Clash.
Well, I tell you, whoever it is, they're going to be under the pump trying to better what we've got tonight. As this is defended by Jordan to the man at a backward point position, and there's one run.
How would you describe the way Jordan Watson throws the ball back to the keeper there?
Some would say describe that arm as a custard arm. That's what I think is the technical term for that.
McCullum again. Forward edge, and it's the first wicket. It came off the gloves of Torore, and Stephen Fleming, he doesn't drop him. And Team Rugby lose their first at 75.
See, the issue there for Afisa Tonu is he tried to play a legitimate shot. He tried to rock back and cut that, and he's got a big, thick outside edge. It was a slower, looped-up delivery from the Komodo Dragon, Nathan McCullum, and it ricocheted off Rory's gloves and ballooned up to Fleming, who pouches that.
Well, I believe we're going to cross down to Guy Havel, who's going to have a little chat.
Fisa Tanu, a stunning innings. Where have you been practicing that reverse sweep?
Sometimes it comes off in the day. You just watch a lot of it on TV. I said to Jimmy, see, I've been watching you on TV, Jimmy, that's why.
Mate, I believe you've been warming up for this, playing in the Nationals at the over-50s competition. Is that right?
Yeah, and it's just nice to see you guys like Will sort of really hitting it well, so you just sort of feed him the strike, but it's nice to get a few runs at the same time. So
good man, great job. Go well.
Good to see you again, mate.
Yeah, you too, mate. Back to you, boys. Sounding great.
Yeah, great stuff. And what an innings from Afisa Tanu. Adventurous, innovative.
Would you call this a platform, Matt Heath? Is this a platform for Team Rugby to go on?
A platform to launch at the 190 they need? Absolutely a platform. I mean, this is more on the platform. This is a big platform.
Well, speaking of which, Skippy Sinclair is coming to the crease, and following him, Caleb Boshier. So they've got two good batsmen to follow up, and Sinclair immediately off the mark, pulling up to the man at deep square leg.
Well, of course, he got 60 at the Black Clash last year at McLean Park in a low-scoring affair. He got over the half of the runs for the cricket team. Then he swapped sides, and now he's playing for rugby. I mean, what do you call that, Mike Lane?
Yeah, we didn't get to the bottom of that, did we? Of how he managed to, how he ended up in Team Rugby. Maybe he played a bit of rugby in his day, but I'm still trying to get to the bottom of how he qualified.
Well, how do you get dropped when you're averaging 60? I mean, small data sample of one game, but he has been dropped as the top scorer.
In the selectorial issues. Typically, that's way above my pay grade.
Yeah. Oh, and the one-armed Scotty Styrus bowls to Sinclair, who slashes him out to the man at deep cover. Adam, what's your thoughts on Jordan? He's looking pretty good, isn't he? He's playing some beautiful cricket shots.
Yeah, he's clearly played before.
Are you puffing at him?
No, I just need to concentrate a bit here. I'll get hurt. Well, Scotty.
Slashed away by Jordan out to the man at deep cover. I tell you what, Adam, you're still looking smooth behind the stumps, mate. Doesn't look like you've lost anything at all.
Early days, mate. It's 10 overs, so this is probably the easiest of it, I suspect.
Styrus again bowls to Sinclair, who slaps him down to long off for a single.
Adam, you would have been a little bit concerned there. Afisa Tanu moving around in the crease, kind of lapping. You would have been worried about your front teeth there for a while?
Well, the one that Flem went over me didn't miss me by much. I had to pull my head in until I saw it, but it was close. Reminds me a bit of Andy Flower, who sort of tormented me one season back in the 90s with that sort of nonsense.
Styrus again, full and wide, and in the air from Jordan, and he's going to beat the man at cover.
Easy, Mac.
And they'll get a couple of runs. Adam, what do you feel about the lap shot, mate? I can't imagine you were such an elegant batsman. I can't imagine you pulling that sort of carry on out.
Yeah, it's probably not. Well, it's a different generation, isn't it? I mean, if you did that when I was playing and it didn't come off, you'd never play again, basically.
Full and wide and slashed at by Sinclair. Jordan, sorry. And in the air, not to the fieldsman.
Adam, did you really climb Mount Everest, or did you fake it, as ACC commentator Mike Minogue was saying earlier in the commentary?
Yeah, no, I was foolish enough to actually do that.
Told you, Mike.
Told you, Mike.
Full and wide and slapped down to long on again, pulled across the line by Sinclair. They'll get a couple of runs, and that's 10 overs gone. Thanks for that, Adam. 84 for 1.
Thanks, guys.
welcome back to the T20 Black Clash. Team Rugby going along pretty nicely at the moment, 70-odd for one, chasing 190. I've got former Black Caps captain Daniel Vittori with me. How on earth do you stem the run flow here and stop this juggernaut?
They played really well. I mean, I think it's Will's first time he's played here, and he's obviously can bat, and he's taken on our very good seamers from the previous years. So had just sort of a bit of run flow with Nathan and Scotty Storris. So I think this is probably a key partnership, Matthew Sinclair and Will Jordan.
How's the arm ball feeling these days? You might pull a few of those out to try and stop him.
I need the directions from Flem around, what's going on. So I haven't had a chance yet, but hopefully soon.
And what have you been up to recently? When was the last time you had a bowl and played a bit of cricket?
This time last year. So it was good fun. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was a close game, probably closer than we anticipated last time around, and it's probably heading the same way now.
Yeah, it could indeed. Thank you very much for your time. Good luck. That's Daniel Vittori. Back to you, boys, and we'll get play underway very shortly again.
Look like Dan Vittori's running the walrus on a moustache. Look there, Matt Heath.
Yeah, it's a terrible operation there. It's an absolute mess. He needs to have half his match fee fined for that. You can't turn up like that for a fixture such as this.
Well, I had a beer with him earlier, and he left half the foam of the beer on his moustache, and he left it there for the entire time. It was quite unnerving.
I actually think he looks quite smart, actually. It's very sort of Admiral of the Navy, and I believe we've got Jordan down on the sideline as well.
Yeah, we were just saying the music needs to start cranking. Razor, what's it like to be a part of the Black Clash this year as Rugby's manager?
Oh, look, it's pretty special. Look, I ended trying to find out what manage meant, and then I realised I'm managing Sir Graham, Henry, Ted, just make sure you got his dosage right. But look, it's been great. Just connect with the boys. They're extremely competitive. Obviously, Will Jordan's a pretty special athlete, and it's great that we're in the fight.
What do you feed him at training?
Well, we're sponsored by KFC. He doesn't eat much of it, by the way, but I just had to get a plug in for the sponsor. But
thank you.
He's just a great athlete and a competitor, and he's got a great timing. He anticipates the game well.
He is well on his way. Thanks for that, Razor. Back to you guys in the comm box.
Great stuff. Thanks, Jordan. What a legend he is, Razor. And I tell you what, to be honest with the watchers and viewers out there, I'm hoeing into a bit of KFC myself in between these breaks. Very enjoyable.
Yeah, we've noticed the mics are slipping up and down in your hand there. You might want to grab yourself a tissue there.
I also had a hoon on your Nicorette before, Jason. My lips are gone numb.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to get into fat shaming or anything, so I won't mention Craig McMillan's stomach there.
It was good, actually, having a chat to Craig McMillan out in the middle earlier today, Mike Lane, and I believe he was the instigator in bringing the boundary ropes in a bit far. He was a little bit intimidated by just how huge the boundaries are here at Hagley Oval.
Yeah, he was instrumental in that. He brought them in because there was a bit of a nor'easterly, which they said that would be difficult to hit sixes out that way, which was a little bit of a weak excuse, but he's taking his time, setting his field, Craig McMillan.
Now, Jason, you're standing on my mic cord here.
Sorry, am I doing that again? Sorry,
very unprofessional. If you could just get off that, please, I'd appreciate it. You should know better than that by now. You've been in broadcasting for a very long time.
That's true. I apologise, Matty. It's getting a bit dark in the comm box as well. This is fallen edge. It's caught by Perori, and Jordan was on his way after a fantastic innings, 49 off 29.
You'll be disappointable that Jordan out for 49 just before 50, but it was a wide half volley by McMillan. Kind of renowned through his career of getting wickets like that. Matt Heath just kind of wide, long hops. But great take there by Adam Perori. Standing up to the stumps, and he's happy about it, is Craig McMillan.
He sure is. It was a great take, and I believe we're going to cross now to Guy Havout down on the floodlit ground of the Oval.
I've got Will Jordan with me, a very strong 49, mate. You're in decent nick. We saw you on the nets earlier in the week. You got it with the bat.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that's come from, to be fair. I had a couple of pretty scratchy nets throughout the week, so game plan tonight was just to go out there and have a bit of fun and try to hit it hard, so managed to get a few away. Yeah.
You've set up the platform, though, in a decent position to possibly push on and get the chocolates here and embarrass this team cricket.
Yeah, hopefully. We've got a pretty strong batting lineup with the likes of Geordie, who's got one in this game before to come, and obviously Matty Sinclair there at the moment, who's scored a lot of runs. So you're in a good spot. Hope you can kick on and get the win.
Solid. Thanks very much for your time. Back to you, fellas.
Yeah, thanks, Guy. He just seems to me to be one of those athletes, guys, that just rises to whatever the occasion is. He loves the contest, and he showed some great skills, Matty Heath.
Yeah, absolutely. Eyes above the ball, and he's definitely a real cricketer. He's a player.
Hell of a specimen. And speaking of specimens, Callum Bashir.
He's a huge unit, isn't he? Look at the size of him. And he's struck some magnificent shots the last time we were at Hagley Oval, and he just dabs us down delicately.
Got absolutely smashed by 2 metre Peter Fulton, who's actually 1.98 centimetres actually, so he's not actually 2 metres, but 5 sixes in that one over. I mean, it's redemption time, isn't it?
Yeah, he'll be looking for a bit of revenge, I'm sure. This time, and Craig McMillan is ripping through them.
Oh, well, again, a rank delivery that Matt Sinclair did well to get an edge on in the end, but a great take by Mav, by Adam Perori behind the stumps. McMillan, he's got 2.
Well, I think Perori was as surprised as anyone else by taking that, but it was another good catch. And he's holding his ground, and McMillan gives Sinclair a bit of a send-off.
There's a bit of Merv Hughes about that send-off and follow-through from...
That's the friendliest send-off I've ever seen.
Oh, let's go down to Guy at the ground.
Rubbish balls gets wickets is what Matthew Sinclair's just told me. Mate, you must hate getting out to Craig McMillan.
Oh, absolutely. I had to get any of these guys and sort of face them so many times over the years, but it just shows you, just a little nick and a good catch. So, but we'll be right. We've got some good players coming through, so yeah, a bit disappointed, but can't do much about it. That's
good, mate. Yeah, he's exactly right. That's a good way to look at it, fellas.
Yeah, thanks, Guy. And we're going to cross to the man himself behind the stumps, Adam. 2 sensational catches, mate.
Thanks, guys. This is quite good fun, actually.
That's quite common, isn't it? Craig McMillan throughout his career bowling absolute garbage and getting wickets.
Yeah, well, there was a bit of a theme to it all, wasn't there?
But he gave Skippy a real send-off too, I noticed.
Well, actually, I forgot the plan. The plan was he was going to bounce him and I was supposed to be standing back, so that was an accident. Oh, bold Mac. Lines, Mac.
I mean, your form's so good, Adam. You're considering maybe a comeback? There's a lot of T20 tournaments around, lucrative T20 tournaments, mate. You could be in.
Yeah, no, I think this might do it for me. Quit while you're ahead, so to speak.
Oh, slashed away through the fieldsman there.
Jordan Watson is a classic harbour bridge, you call it. He just dived over the top of the ball.
You can't help but feel McMillan deserved that because he's been bowled highs all over and he's got 2 wickets. Slashed away, and the classic harbour bridge.
Well, you can forgive Jordan Watson there. He's never played with a hard ball before. First time with a hard ball, and it bounces a bit different than a tennis ball in the backyard.
Sure does. McMillan again. Down the leg side.
Nice.
And Mackenzie tries to hump him away, makes no contact. It's called wide by Billy Bowden, who seems to be...
What was that? Was that wide? What was it?
I'm not sure.
Is it the Macarena?
Yeah, it's nice, Mac.
Grunt of effort there from McMillan as Kinsey defends up to point, and there's 1 run.
So, of course, welcoming our Australian viewers through Fox Sport over there who have joined us for this T20 Black Clash. And they'll be stoked to watch a bit of good cricket, watch some good sportsmanship, some good role models out there. There's some Australians to take note about. Matt Heath.
Absolutely, he played in good spirit, isn't it? And just playing the game to the best of the ability and not getting involved in any of that sort of nasty, sort of cheaty sort of stuff.
Yeah, no cheaty little nasty stuff out there today. It's all wholesome cricket.
Well, I mean, in Australia's defence, they are the second best test team currently in Australasia. So they have achieved to a certain level.
You really do have to acknowledge how outstanding India were in that series. It was essentially a second 11 at the Gabatoir, and of course Australia haven't lost there for, I think it was 33 years. Very similar to Eden Park, isn't it, with the All Blacks?
Here we go, Jordan Watson. I'll be interested to see his action. Never played professionally.
Certainly got a long run up,
isn't he? And he's a lefty as well.
It's a change of pace in the run up.
And holds to McKenzie, who sweeps him down to the man at short fine leg, and they'll get a single.
How would you describe that action, Mike Lane?
I was going to say it's a mixture of Malinga, Merv Hughes, all into one. As he gets into his delivery stride here, doesn't quite get the arm over.
The motion sort of stops, really, doesn't it? It comes again. This is down the leg side and missed by Boshier.
What, no wide call?
No. And it's a very staccato kind of run-up, really, isn't it? It's stoppy-starty.
You wouldn't call it as a fluid action and delivery style, would you?
No. And I noticed that he's already cut it back because he's beginning to puff, and this is pumped away by Boshier. Backward is square for 6. That's what he's capable of. He can hit the ball a long, long way.
Yeah, his problem is that he needs to slow it down, doesn't he? I mean, as a person that also can't bowl, what I do is I just take absolutely all the pace off it, and even more pace off it than that.
Yeah,
make the batsman do the work.
I'm surprised your deliveries actually make it to the other end of the pitch, Matt Heath. They've got so little pace on them.
Well, this is wide down the leg side by Watson. It's called wide by Jimmy Neesham. And
well, that's not very sportsmanly. You can't rough up.
You can never touch the umpire.
No, that's reminiscent of the South Summer of '81, isn't it?
Colin Croft barging into Goodall. This is again smashed behind square for 6 more, nearly into the spar pool, in fact. An injury there.
Hell of a time down there in the Hot Springs Spas.
I tell you what, that would be a great way to spend the evening, maybe. Yeah, a hot spring spa there with maybe a cold beverage, a bucket of KFC chicken on the side there, watching the cricket under lights.
You've got to say, you're a brave man to sign up for this game when you have no ability at cricket absolutely at all.
This is full and wide and left alone by Boshier.
Hundreds of thousands of people watching at home, and a sold-out Hagley. And I don't know. I mean, is that even bowling? Would you call that? Is that actually technically bowling?
Yeah, it's a straight arm.
That's a better ball, but it's going to get the same treatment over mid-wicket for 6 more. 3 sixes in the over, an attempted catch. And another great shot from Boshier. That's 12 gone, 1-1-1 for 3.
He'll be happy with that, Watson.
Hot Springs Spas, a brand that has built a reputation on quality for more than 40 years, providing decades of relaxation and enjoyment.
What pipes, Jason Hoyt? That was beautiful. It was like hot treacle. Absolutely beautiful. And you could feel your passion for the Hot Springs Spas in the timbre of your voice. Absolutely beautiful.
Thanks, mate. As McMillan comes in now and bowls to McKenzie, who drives him down to the man at mid-off, but doesn't beat him. It's interesting, we brought up with Adam Perorte, Mike Minogue, the fact that he climbed Everest and that you maybe had questioned the legitimacy of his climb. He wasn't impressed by that, mate, I might add.
Well...
An attempt at a backward sweep from McKenzie. A big appeal from McMillan. Not out, says umpire Bowden.
Well, I didn't question whether he'd done it or not. I believe that he had. I just questioned whether he really needed to write a book on it. I mean, when I climbed Everest, I did it in an afternoon.
Full delivery, and McKenzie was lucky. If he had a missed, it would have been all over, but he manages to get the ball out to a wideish mid-wicket, and they'll get a couple of runs.
Well, Mike Minogue, Rugby, they've got their own Everest to climb here. 77 runs to get.
Yeah, see what you've done there. Really good.
So I've taken what you were talking about with the Everest. Yes, so 77 runs of 45 balls.
Oh, and this is smashed by McKenzie over square leg for 6. They must have heard your call. This is what happened.
Yes.
You're doing it again, Matt Heath.
Yes, Jock McKenzie smoked that. That's what they need. 71 of 44.
So you were saying, Mike Minogue, that when you climbed Everest, you didn't feel the need to tell everyone about it or indeed write a book about it?
Well, certainly not write a book. I mean, who hasn't climbed Everest is my question.
Well, when I climbed Everest, I didn't make too much of a fuss of it, to be honest. It was just something that I wanted to do for myself personally, and I got it done and moved on to the next thing.
Well, that's
building
right.
a garden shed.
When I climbed Everest, I didn't even mention it to my wife or kids. I just took 3 weeks off work and came back and didn't make a peep about it.
The 2.5 weeks of that, you were in Fiji.
That's right, actually, Maddie, because I remember getting calls from her asking where you were.
But you know what to say when that call comes through, James.
Yeah. McMillan, bit of a beaver there, but Bosier stands his ground and smashes him to a wideish long on for, is that a 4 or a 6? They're just consulting.
Yeah, if you get a call, I'm at your house.
Yeah, mate. Well, that's going to be a no ball, surely. It was 1 bounce for 4. He's just losing a bit of control.
Well, he looks gassed, doesn't he?
Yeah,
McMillan.
He does.
He's coming in off a 3-step delivery stride there, and I think it's just too much for him.
Has he jumped into the hot spring spa because he's very, very wet?
Well, it is a balmy night out there, Matt, to be fair, under the lights there. It's probably about 20, 21 degrees.
When I start smelling that KFC wafting across the field as well, I get a bit of a sweat on.
So is this a free hit?
Yeah, I think it is.
Here we go. Is that what he means by doing that?
It's a no ball, and I believe they do the free hit.
Yep, that's a free hit.
And Craig McMillan, he's not impressed. He's fired up.
He
Or he could be setting the field.
No, he fired the Evils down at Boshier for smashing him, even though it was a horrifically slow beamer.
Boshier, of course, 23 off 7, and then comes in again. Bowls to him, and he launches again, and then it's going to be 1 bounce for 4 more. Through long on.
This is on, ladies and gentlemen. This is on for Team Rugby.
Well, really, McMillan's getting what he deserves.
He is, and another great shot from Boshier, and I believe going across down to Jordan, he's on the ground.
Yep, we're on the ground, and I can confirm that this is actually a really hard stretch here. But I thought, the people on the field are great, but the unsung heroes of the 12th men, we've got Jesse and Reese. How are you finding it so far, Jesse?
Oh, it's pretty enjoyable, to be honest. We've had a really good time.
You've had a lot of sprints out in this innings here.
We have, yeah. Getting a good work over.
What about you, mate? How are you finding it?
Oh, I'm loving it. It's a great night for it. Everyone seems to be enjoying it, so it's been good fun.
Can you just quickly crack open that Gatorade? I just need to check that it's cool. Have a quick sip. Yep, can confirm the bevvies are nice and cold. Back to you guys in the comm box.
Yeah, great stuff. Thanks, Jordan. I'd imagine there'd be a fair amount of dehydration out there, fellas.
There's a lot of people attempting to hydrate themselves, putting a lot of effort into the hydration in the crowd, and here we go. Here we go. This is going to change things. This is going to stem the flow. Vittori.
Oh, nice game.
Full delivery from Vittori to McKenzie. Defends out to the man. To wideish gully, and there's no run.
I think Rugby believe now. 61 runs from 41 balls. Are you willing to call it yet, Mike Minogue?
Yes,
another good delivery, and slashed by McKenzie out to the man at deep point. And there's 1 run, or deep cover.
I feel like there's a few more twists in the tail yet, Matt Heath. I'd hate to call it now with 7 overs to go. We've got the doubly wobbly overs coming.
Yeah, we've got the doubly wobbly over, Juco doubly wobbly over. And this is a lovely flighted delivery into the pads of Boshier, who defends back to the bowler, no run.
So if you could please just explain how the Juco doubly wobbly over works.
It'll be my pleasure.
Oh, well, Daniel.
Boshier comes down the wicket. Cries behind the stumps there as he slaps him down to long on for a single.
Team Rugby can select any over they like in the remaining innings to be their doubly wobbly Juco over.
Another lovely flighted delivery from Vittori, and McKenzie went back on his stumps, opened himself up a little.
Every run
to the bowler.
Every one's 2, every 2's 4.
Yeah.
Nice tight over there from Vittori. 131 for 3 after 14. Welcome back to Hagley Oval as we look at a beautiful half moon over the ground. The lights are on full as McCullum comes in and bowls to Boshier, who launches the ball, down to long off, and I suspect there was a misfield there from the hairy jab.
That's misfield. That is 4 runs. So this is looking advantage Team Rugby at this point.
And you can also notice, Matty and Mike, that Team Cricket have upped it a notch as well. They're realising this is getting quite tense, this match, and that was a terrible misfield there from the hairy jab, because he's usually a very competent fieldsman.
Was that the first example of the ball being lost in the lights?
Maybe.
The lights are great, but sometimes you do lose the ball as it drops out of the sky.
Well, this is getting exciting now. 59 runs, 57 runs off 35.
The Komodo Dragon bowls to Boshier, who smashes him down to long on for another single.
56 runs off 34.
Yeah, so we're just talking about the doubly wobbly over.
Yeah, well, that changes it, doesn't it? It's not really 56 off 34 with the doubly wobbly coming
we
up,
don't know what it'll be, but it means every run score gets doubled in that over.
Full to McKenzie, lofted in the air. The hairy jab is underneath it and takes the catch. And a much-needed wicket for Team Cricket. And a nice little cameo from McKenzie comes to an end. Well, he just floated that one up, didn't he, Nathan McCullum? And McKenzie came down the wicket, tried to loft them over long off, and get it right in the middle of the bat. It was a nice catch from the hairy jab, and I believe they're going down to the ground now, and Guy's going to have a chat.
Yeah, I certainly am. I've got Jock McKenzie with me. 16 off 14, I think it was. Pretty solid effort. Got the team back into the game.
Not quite. Caelan did most of it, so I was getting carried a bit there.
Mate, how's this experience been, hanging out with former Black Caps, former All Blacks, just being in this environment?
Probably I'll put it up there with one of the best that I've had, so yeah, pretty grateful for the opportunity.
Good man, well done. Back to you, fellas.
Great stuff, thanks, Guy. And what a great hairdo he was running there, McKenzie. Straight out of the 70s there, Mike Minogue.
Yeah, I used to have a haircut like that, but then I started massively balding. And it just doesn't look great when you're receding. Got the big widow's peak going. My wife told me I was an embarrassment to us, so yeah, I had to cut it off.
Well, cometh the man, cometh the hour.
Yeah?
Well, I mentioned actually in the last match, Brad Weber. He's got a beautiful batting technique. He's a very compact little player. The only problem is he doesn't score any runs.
Yeah, he can't see the ball.
Oh, this is a caught behind. Big appeal from McCullum, and he's given. Oh, and that is a huge breakthrough for Team Cricket, and Perori takes his 3rd catch behind the stumps. And you can tell the cricket lads certainly enjoying that, and they've got rid of the danger man, Boshier.
This is what I was talking about here, Matt Heath, the twists in the tail. Absolutely. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. There we go, back-to-back wickets.
Yeah.
And now you say advantage cricket.
Well, yeah, before when I said cometh the man, cometh the hour, I thought Geordie Barrett was coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's done very well in past Black Caps. 38 and 26.
Well, let's go down to Guy and see what Caelan has to say.
Caelan Boshier, 31 off 13. How are you finding it out there? It seemed like it was pretty straightforward.
Got a couple of easy ones to start me off, but nah, it's a good wicket out there, so hopefully the boys can bring it home. We've got big Geordie coming in now, so hopefully you can see us home.
Mate, I think you had them scared for a while. Are they chirping out there? How do you think you got Team Cricket under a bit of pressure?
They've gone pretty quiet out there. There's no real chirp at the moment, but I'll say they will now in a couple of weeks there.
Fantastic, mate. Caelan Boshier, thank you very much. Back to you, lads.
Yeah, great stuff. And this is a hat-trick ball, no pressure for Geordie Barrett. And tell you what, his pads look like shin pads on him, don't they? He's such a huge unit.
Did he borrow Guy Hesvelt's pads?
But what do we think of the Team Rugby pants, guys? They're very flamboyant, aren't they?
I haven't had a decent look. I've been
they're a statement.
Sort of concentrating on the faces.
Yeah.
So here you go, hat-trick ball. There's going to be fireworks here. My prediction is Geordie Barrett is going to tee off if he doesn't go out immediately.
I think I'm possibly having a stroke here. Got Mike Lane behind me with some kind of a massage device, or at least I hope it is.
What do you?
Vibrations are pumping through this cranium at the moment, and I'm on the verge of passing out.
Yeah, he gave me a bit of a massage earlier in the day, and
he was very handsy, isn't he?
Oh, there you go, right. I was a bit afraid he was going to actually release some toxins into the system. But what sensational wicket keeping from Adam Podore. 3 catches behind the stumps, and this is the hat-trick ball, lads.
He's getting massively Gulliver there, wasn't he? Podore behind the wickets.
What would you bowl if you were Nathan McCullum?
A pie.
And he comes now around the wicket. Oh, and it's a big, rank full toss and called wide by umpire Billy Bowden.
Stranger, he took your advice there, young Mike Minogue, and bowled a pie, but an unhittable pie.
An edible pie.
And he comes again. Oh, and Geordie goes back on the stumps and arrogantly leaves the ball.
Well, there's no time for leaving it, Geordie.
Well, I think he's sending a message there, Matt. He's saying, look, we've got plenty of time, fellas. We've got this in hand.
We've still got our doubly-wobbly in hand.
55 runs, 31 balls. A doubly-wobbly over.
Was a good delivery defended by Barrett. End of the over. And it's 135 for 5 after 15.
You can really feel the tension in the air, can't you? The crowds that have gone quiet, they don't know what's going to happen. Geordie sort of got the weight of the world on his shoulders out there with deadbeat Webber. You know that Webber's going to hold up an end, chew up some deliveries, score no runs. So the pressure goes back on Geordie at the other end. If I was Geordie, Matt Heath, I'd be trying to run Webber out at the earliest opportunity.
Solid strategy there. 55 runs from 30 balls. There's no time for any Pajara-type behaviour here. They've just got to roll the eyes, the back of the head, and slash across the line from here till the end.
That's fine. Scotty, bring Scotty up.
Tell you what, it's a brilliant scene here. I'm always tempted, lads, to shut the lights down. Shut the lights down here in the commentary box so we can get the full extent of the lights on the ground as Tory bowls to Webber, punches the ball back to the ball and no run.
Yeah, well, last year he got 9 dot balls in a row before he scored for Webber. He can't do that tonight. Fortunately, Vittori's bowling to him. Very hard to get away.
But he does have a good technique.
Oh, he looks great.
He looks fantastic.
A great human being.
Vittori comes in again. Oh, and he plays across that ball off the pad. They'll get a single as it goes down to deep gully position, and there's 1 run.
When do you call the doubly-wobbly over where you get 2 runs for every run you score? Do you leave it to the end, or do you leave it to the next rubbish bowler?
Well, you've got to wait until Webber's out of the game. Because if he gets down in the end and he's swinging across it's like he's got no eyes. He plays through the sense of smell almost, it seems, doesn't it?
Vittori, that's a bit of drift there into Geordie Barrett. He manages to clip the ball. Not a 9 point for a single.
Not enough, Team Rugby.
Well, I mean, in Webber's favour, you know, in his defence, he's not the biggest unit in the world, and this is a big floating, tempting ball from Vittori, and Webber just went for it and didn't get within cooey of it.
He could smell runs, he just couldn't score them.
How quick is Podore? He climbed Everest once, you know.
So that's actually a stumping.
No, he had the bat down, didn't he?
No, he didn't actually.
Yeah,
That's actually a stumping.
I'd like to see that again because I think he was back.
I think he was back.
No, I'm pretty certain there was nothing behind the crease line there. As we look at the replay.
Look at the bat.
Shows the side-on visuals again. That's what we need to see.
That's not out, Jason.
Here we go. This is the telling shot. Gets.
Keep an eye on the.
See, there's nothing. Hits the. Oh yes, okay. You're right, fellas. He's
guys built the tension there, though.
Jason Hoyt, I will accept an apology.
I apologise, Matt Heath. You're completely right, mate. It's very close, though. Not out as Vittori could over. Just one leg by and a single off it so far. And this is short and pulled by Weber out to the man at deep mid-wicket, but he'll just get the single.
He'll be telling his kids about that shot. That single.
52 runs, 25 balls.
Only 3 off the over, Matty, as Vittori comes in again. Holding to Barrett. That's the end of the over. 138 for 5 after 16.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me.
Hagley Oval, brand new lights, is an exciting step forward for this proud sporting city, which will host the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup final in 2022 and sees the Black Caps take on Australia and Bangladesh in February and March. Plenty of sport in the region with yesterday's announcement of a round of Sail GP coming to Christchurch.
Great stuff, Jace. That is one of the best reads I've heard so far tonight. Change of bowler now coming on, the hairy javelin into the attack. They're looking to put the squeeze on.
It doesn't stop, does it?
Comes in and bowls to Weber, who tees off over mid-wicket for 6. Well, there you go, Mike Minogue. Take that, he says.
Yeah, well, I mean, every dog has his day, as they say. You swing a bat as hard as he does at every delivery that comes his way, and eventually it's going to be in the arc. He has smashed that one for 6, and let's be honest, Team Rugby needed it because they're starting to lag behind in this chase, and we've still got the Juco doubly wobbly up our sleeve.
Yes, certainly. The cricket is looking a bit tenser now, that's for sure. As the hairy jab comes into Weber again, short and and slapped down to the man. It's long on and a comfortable catch taken by Nathan McCullum. Calm as you like. Weber is on his way.
Yeah, well, this is what we're talking about, isn't it, with Weber? It's hot and cold, and it's mostly cold.
Well, I think it's Mark Ellis's enduring next for Team Rugby, but just ran the fingers over the seam there, the hairy javelin, cross seam, and didn't quite time it as well as the previous 6, and straight down the throat of the Komodo dragon, Nathan McCullum.
Well, it's probably the best result possible for Weber. Get in, get a few runs, and get out, and we'll have an opportunity now to see how it feels about that dismissal.
Brad Weber, you got hold of 1, tried to go for number 2, didn't quite come off.
Yeah, just a little bit short. Story of my life, really. Yours as well, guys. So, yeah, ironic that I went out that way, but geez, I wanted it. Bugger.
I could tell you want it. It seems like the team wants it as well. It's not over, though, is it, with the old double over coming up?
No, and especially with Geordie Barrett at the crease, and Andy's coming out now, so 2 big hitters, and hopefully they go bang.
Yeah, hopefully they do. Thank you, mate. Go well.
Cheers, mate.
Back to you, fellas.
Yeah, great stuff. Thanks for that. Hopefully they go bang, 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 rather than just the one bang, Mike Lane.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, look, it's like they said, they've got the Duco doubly wobbly over coming with the double runs. So that's definitely a weapon, especially if you can get kind of 15 runs off that. It's 30, and then you're that much closer to the target.
It's exciting stuff, isn't it? It's really building. You wouldn't think that these games would be that close, given that one side's full of rugby players, and yet somehow, you've got a score of 189, and these guys get them within cooey. It's exciting times.
Well, the one thing you know about Andy Ellis is that he's a feisty little character. He's a competitive bloke as well, so he'll be up for the fight, and Geordie Barrett as well. it's certainly not over for Team Rugby.
He's had a good day, Andy Ellis, 3 for 15 with the ball. Did a lot of chirping of Stephen Fleming, and eventually got his wicket.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Team Cricket make things a little uncomfortable.
And of course, he's a notorious sicko as well, so you never know what's going to happen with him at the crease.
Well, the music's beginning to pump up. The lights are at full bore. Lovely moon overhead. Good crowd in.
I tell you what, there, getting a good steam on. I had to do a dash to the toilet and got accosted a number of times.
All men,
of course.
So here we go. Heating up as the hairy jab bowls to Barrett, who defends nicely out to cover. It was a good ball from Grant Elliott, and they'll get a single.
Just a little bit of a public service announcement. We've closed the complaints line. It started to get a little bit out of control, the 3483. You're more than welcome to keep complaining, but we're not going to read them.
This is full and defended by Alice out to short mid-wicket. There's another single. Was it running hot, was it?
Yeah, some were cutting a bit deep. Jace?
Were they talking about your moustache again?
Yeah. Several references to trespass orders around schools and whatnot, so just tried to shut that down.
Elliott again bowls a full toss to Barrett, who drives nicely, correctly down to long off for another single, but they need more than singles.
Well, the equation now, 43 runs from 19 balls, and we're not actually seeing any intent, are we? It's blocking, it's pushing the ball around, and that's not what they need, and maybe they're just working their way to the Duco Doubly Wobbly.
This is, once again, Alice playing another elegant shot. I tell you what, I'm really impressed with the technique of these rugby players, but I believe Jordan's down on the ground.
Just running into Nathan McCullum, literally running in. Look, I came to see you and you got a wicket. Am I a good luck chum or what?
How we going? All right, that's all good, isn't it?
Oh, man, game on here.
There's definitely game on, isn't it?
What's going to be the tactic from Team Cricket from here on out?
I don't know. We probably need to try and get Geordie out now, but yeah, try and keep him quiet for this over and then see how it goes in the last couple.
We're down here in the middle of the pitch. Off you go.
Yes, indeed, very tight, and particularly when you consider the doubly wobbly over that's still to come, so that's going to be a key factor. Do they play it now, lads, while Geordie Barrett's still at the crease?
Well, you're going to have to. I mean, unless they leave it up to the last over, which is high risk leaving it to the last over. But they're going to have to do the next over, surely.
Well, I don't think you can do it this over because he hasn't had a big swing yet. He's just been trying to get his eye in, and it's certainly not the guy you want to be doing a doubly wobbly over off Vittori. He's notoriously tight.
Oh, mate, I've got the...
Rumour has it Dan Vittori is still New Zealand's #1 spin bowler, 5 years retired.
Well, he was a great player, wasn't he? And, second highest wicket taker in New Zealand history, I believe. Yep, 300 odd, if I am correct, as he comes in now, bowls to Alice, who goes down on one knee and sweeps him behind square for a single. Stifled appeal, not out, says the umpire.
42 runs required or 41 from 17 balls. I think it's time for Boom Barrett to get swinging.
I think this is the over for sure as he defends Vittori, and once again, there's no run. And I can tell you one thing you know about Geordie Barrett, he is massively competitive. And it doesn't matter what the occasion is, he wants to win.
Good to see Dan Vittori get the arm ball out there, the stock arm ball that got him so many wickets as a Test cricketer.
He's bowling quite nicely, actually, and this is pulled away by Barrett and bravely fielded by Fulton on the deep mid-wicket boundary. So that was hit with some power.
Utilising the classic long barrier there.
Yes, well, he's got a very long barrier, Peter Fulton, isn't he? Beats him in the air, does Vittori, as Alice came down the wicket and got himself in a bit of a tangle. No run.
Getting a little bit more difficult here, ball by ball. 40 required off 14. They've got to play the doubly wobbly.
Yeah, another nice arm ball into the pads of Alice, but he defends and digs it out to cover. No run.
It's a classic Vittori over, isn't it? You know, you're lucky to get 3 runs off it.
Well, he's in his third, and that's a lovely floated slow ball, and that's the end of the over. 18 gone, 150 for 6.
Simply steamed. No wonder you have to lean.
Welcome back to Hagley Oval, the final 2 overs, and I believe now that Team Rugby are playing their Duco doubly wobbly over.
Oh, there we go. The doubly wobbly single is not a... Jeez, I don't know what that was, but here it is, the doubly wobbly, the Duco doubly wobbly, and it's going to be Grant Elliott that's been gifted the doubly wobbly.
The hairy jab now comes in, bowling to Geordie Barrett. Oh, great Yorker, digs it out. So that's 2 runs.
Yeah, they've got to get at least 20 off this over. Otherwise this game is over.
Well, even 15, you know, it puts them in the range of around about 10 or so off the last over. Yeah. And that should be doable, but I'm really surprised by the lack of intent by Rugby.
So in comes Elliott again. This is back of a length and punch down the ground by Ellis. They're going to come back for 2. So that's 4 more to the total. Hendy runs. Of course, chasing 190 for the win. If I recall correctly, the Team Cricket in their doubly wobbly over got 22 as Elliott bowls a slower delivery, and Ellis came down, had an almighty swat at the ball, made no contact through to the keeper, no run.
So 34 off 9. It's a hard ask, but there's 3 more balls left in the doubly wobbly, Duco doubly wobbly.
You cannot overstate the value of the doubly wobbly.
Oh, that's another good full delivery. Not much that Ellis can do with that. He just drives it down to long on for a single. That's not enough, is it, mate?
No, it's going to have to go for a 4s or 6. We need boundaries here if they're going to get close in the last
2 sixes.
over.
A couple of 6s, yeah.
24 runs, that would be very handy. Oh. In fact, you'd say it would put them in the winning position. Here's a pick for you. I reckon one's going to go this ball. Geordie launches into it. Over square leg for 6.
A doubly wobbly 12.
Called by Jason Hoyt in a sensational piece of commentary.
Well, there's been some sensational commentary picks here. There was Matt Heath telling almost 2-metre Peter to get his A into G, and he hit 5 6s and a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great shot from Geordie Barrett over square leg for 6. It was a slow delivery from Elliott, but he still managed to pick it up. And he goes again! Over mid-wicket for 6!
Well, we asked 2 6s, and there it is. 24 off the last 2 balls, and now they only require 8 off the last over.
That is the beauty of the Duco doubly wobbly. You know, you think the game is dead and buried. You play the card, and next thing you know, you're in the box seat. We thought this game was dead and buried, but it is game on, gentlemen.
Yeah, Fleming is going over to Vittori, and he's like, you're the only one that's going to win this for us, Dan.
Can I just give you the numbers for that over? 2, 4, dot, 2, 12, 12.
Well, the hairy jab, it's a real poison chalice, the doubly wobbly. When you get tossed the ball on the doubly wobbly, your captain either hates you or trusts you.
And in that case, you'd have to say that Elliott's not going to get the trust again, is he? That's a horrible way to finish the over. He'll be disappointed.
Oh, they were 2 lusty blows too. He just gave himself room outside the off stump. But here's the wily old master. Coming in, bowling to... Alice, who gives himself room, and it smashes into the stumps, the arm ball.
You can see there, Vittori came in with a little bit more intent in this last over. He was leapt a little bit higher at the crease, came through the crease a bit quicker. They want to win this game, Team Cricket, and Vittori's doing the job for them.
Gee whiz, he is an absolute class act, isn't he? Wow, it meant a lot to him there. You could see it. You're right, Mike Lane.
I tell you what, he's really bowling beautifully. He's still got it, his Vittori, as we go down to Guy on the ground.
I'm just letting Mark and Andy Ellis have a little bit of a chat about what it's doing out there. Obviously, it's getting a little bit tense down here, fellas. Not many needed. What is it like out there now that you've closed the gap to, 7 off 5?
Oh, mate, she's on now, isn't it? Too good, eh? Davatory, wow, far out. Either flight or arm ball, mate, how good.
Yeah, did you with the arm ball? You can't really complain against one of New Zealand's best.
No, it was too good, mate. It was too good. Good fun, though, eh? How good. Let's finish this off now.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy Ellis all fired up, boys. It's all on here.
Oh, it sure is, mate. And Mark Ellis, the man himself, and he was telling us he considers himself a batsman as opposed to a bowler. And he's a handy cricketer too, so this is going to be interesting. 7 needed or 8 needed off 5.
And of course, all the big interviews with all the big players will be on Monday morning on Radio Hodaki Breakfast with Matt Heath and Jeremy Wells. So you'll hear from Will Jordan and Dan Vittori on Monday from 6 a.m. You can join Matt. He's just stuffing his face with KFC right now in preparation for his return to the radio waves on Monday.
So what's the approach here? You've got Mark Ellis on strike. Geordie's obviously got his eye and can hit the ball a mile. Just hoping to get a bit of bat on ball, is it?
Yeah, I think maybe Ellis will just look to turn the strike over, because one lusty blow from Barrett and it's all over. Short, big appeal. It was a quicker, flatter delivery. Not out, says Neesham, umpire Neesham. Well, he can't give it out anyway. He's got no fingers left.
Upstairs.
Miles out, that's why.
He's been given it. I think he's miles out. We're going to go in the replay, but bit of confusion. Perori, he is miles out.
He is miles out.
Miles out. So a golden duck for Mark Ellis, stumped by Perori.
Oh dear.
The old combination of Vittori and Perori.
He's had a great day at the office, Mark Ellis. He's been smashed for about 1,000 runs, and then he's got himself a nice golden duck. As we see the golden duck go for a swim in one of our hot spring spas.
I tell you what, I feel a bit bad about, we laid into the great man earlier in the day, didn't we? And he hasn't had the best of days.
And now he's going to get humiliated by a couple of hot spring ducks. So it goes from bad to worse for poor Mark Ellis.
Just to rub salt in the wound. Oh, dear me. We're sorry, Mark. We're really sorry.
It's
not a pretty sight.
I'd like to apologise as well. I've never been made to feel bad for someone before, but it's a tough day for Mark Ellis. He's getting hugged by the umpire, which is probably not appropriate.
It's a little bit creepy.
He was never in his crease. That was the problem, and I don't think he realised that. He had a big swipe.
Well, Jimmy Neesham asked if he wanted to take centre, and he said, "I'll be right." So it's Jason Spice. It's Dan Vittori's old friend from Northern Districts, Hamilton Days, Jason Spice, to face up to Dan Vittori. So this will be an interesting little battle here.
The captain as well.
You can see the gleam in Vittori's eye too.
Well, Jason Spice can bat, put it that way. I don't think he's going to clear the rope, but he can certainly hold a bat.
So 4 deliveries, wicket, and this is, of course, a hat-trick wicket as well. Vittori comes in. No! And so very nearly bowled it. Spice got a glove on it, only just right in front of middle stump.
Yeah, he was lucky he got something on that, because that was plumb in front, Jason Spice, but he's put Barrett on strike. Here he's on 30 off 11. 3 deliveries remain.
That was going right into the middle of middle stump there. Very fortunate. So, can Barrett clear the fence again?
7 from 3. It's come down to the wire again. Mike Minogue, 3 years in a row. It's come down to the last over.
I mean, what an occasion the Black Clash is. Every single year, as you say, down to the wire, and now you've got one of the greatest bowlers in New Zealand history up against one of the biggest hitters in rugby history. She's all go with 3 deliveries and 7 runs required.
Vittori. He's done it again, has he? Oh, tragedy for Team Rugby. I thought again. The great Geordie Barrett, but it's a great catch from Grant Elliott. Beautiful bit of bowling from Dan Vittori. What an over, 3 wickets.
Yeah, he's the closer. Dumbledore, the closer, with the big walrus moustache, and he's done the job, or he's doing the job for Stephen Fleming. Still 2 deliveries to go, though, Mike Minogue and Jason Hoyt. So,
gee whiz, you thought off the bat.
Absolute tragedy. Beautiful bowling, but a great knock nonetheless from Geordie Barrett. Let's go down to Guy.
Oh, Geordie Barrett, what did you think when that came off the bat? It looked half decent.
No, I didn't like it straight away. I just needed to wait for it a bit longer, but hopefully one of these boys can get one out of the screws.
Yeah, well, you got a couple out of the screws in that double over to pull things back, so there is a chance here.
Yeah, there is a chance. Dan's so hard to get away, though. He's class. Who knows? Fingers crossed.
Good man, absolutely. Go on, fellas.
I've never seen a bigger Gulliver situation in my life, with Guy Havelt next to Geordie Barrett there, towering above.
Well, I think in Guy's defence, there's a lot of people that would be Gullivered by the great Geordie Barrett. He's a big unit.
Here we go. 7 runs, 2 balls. Spice back on strike. The batsman crossed.
Vittori floats it up. Driven back to Vittori.
There it is.
What an over. 3 wickets. They've only scored the 1 run. The man of the hour.
Of course, it's going to take a 6 to tie it.
Underarm.
And he comes. Bowls to Spice. He hits it in the air. Could it be 1 bounce for 4? Oh, Team Cricket just scrape over the edge.
A 1-run victory to Team Cricket. And they'll be pleased with that because they were up against it early on. A great opening stand by Will Jordan and Afisa Tonu. And almost brought it back with Geordie Barrett with a couple of towering 6s during the doubly wobbly, but it always delivers, doesn't it, Jason Hoyt? The Black Clash 2021.
Oh, I tell you what, Mike Lane, all 3 games have been absolutely outstanding, and once again the rugby players have showered themselves in glory. It was a very tight, close contest. Some great action throughout the day, Mike Minogue.
Just phenomenal, and how exciting, and what a privilege to be allowed to be a part of such a fantastic event. You know, if you came down here to Christchurch and you saw the lights on, you know, you really got your money worth, didn't you?
You sure did.
Look at Spice, the last hit. He was just 5 metres away from tying this game. It was a 1 bounce 4. I think even Jimmy Neesham was rooting for Team Rugby. Unlucky.
It was so close in the end. In fact, all of these games have been close. If I'm not incorrect, I believe the last game was decided on the last few balls.
Absolutely. It came down to the second to last ball. Andy Lee taking a catch out on the boundary, and I think we're ready to go down to Jordan for a chat.
Dan, he's just shaking hands. He's such a good sport. He's still shaking hands. You may have single-handedly saved the game for cricket. How are you feeling?
Well, Grant Elliott tried to lose it for us with some of his bowling. So, no, it was good fun. They played so well. I mean, it was some incredible innings, especially from Will Jordan up front. So, pressure. There's a lot of pressure. Yeah.
Coming in last year, did you feel the pressure coming in here to bowl these last few overs?
Well, Flem sort of told me to try and rein it in a little bit, but I didn't. I thought at the time we'd still sort of comfortably get home, and then it just got all a little tight.
And what a spectacle. Black Clash under lights, a cricket win, ultimate bragging rights. It must be a good feeling.
And an amazing crowd. I mean, to come out and see some old guys and guys who play rugby normally, it's pretty nice feeling. So it was great that it was such a good game.
Old guys, come on, give yourself some credit. 3 wickets, absolute performance. Well done. Go and enjoy the evening.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Yes, indeed. He's a great man, Dan Vittori. What a great last over. So let's take a look at some of the highlights of the match and go through them.